This week on the Face Off Hockey Show, we've got retirements, we've got lateral movement signings by college players, and we've got ourselves the last show of August. That means only one thing. The assholes who say, is it October yet, and hashtags are going to be out in full force this month. That and more, it's Face Off Hockey Show right now.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Choose your command. You have chosen
the Face Off Hockey Show.
I mean, hockey is my life. I've got on hockey underwear right now.
The Face Off Hockey Show. What? With Scotty Waz. Sean O.
a breakaway. Takes two city doors.
And the P-Boys, Johnny and Mark with the C.
Yeah, baby.
You believe it not? Oh, yes!
Here's your host for the Face Off Hockey Show, Scotty Waz.
Welcome, everyone. It's another edition of the Face Off Hockey Show. I'm indeed Scotty Waz. We're part of the Face Off Hockey Show media faction because it'd be weird if we weren't. You're hearing us on iTunes, Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio, wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for listening. I'm joined as always by the. You like the new intro, boys? Like that little.
That was nice. That was nice. I like it.
I do something here.
It's like we know what we're doing.
Here are the shitheads that are going to be dealing the show with me. It's Mark and John.
Yeah,
explicit.
that's us.
By the way,
We're
have you
the
noticed?
shitheads.
I got a PR email from the Hartford Wolfpack of the AHL. Spectra introduces new menu items and the addition of Chick-fil-A at Pratt & Whitney Stadium in time for UConn football. Is it me, or is Chick-fil-A just popping up in every single possible stadium there is?
It's true, and
I think it
didn't. Yeah,
The NFL though, they're really missing their clientele if they're getting into NFL stadiums.
They're in the Atlanta Falcons stadium, and people were outraged because it's not going to be open.
Yeah, but there are other teams that play in the Atlanta Falcons stadium. It's not like it's just solely theirs.
this is true.
Yeah, well,
Atlanta United plays there, and they never play on Sundays. Because why
It's true.
MLS is not that dumb to go against football.
It's true. What is their new stadium called? The Falcons Stadium.
Mercedes-Benz.
Uh,
True story. It's pretty nice though. It's got like from what I see, the pictures that I've seen in the video that I've seen of that stadium, it has like they have to be like probably 10 feet video screens that go all the way around the entire stadium, kind of like Capital One Center does. But it can put up like the literal like starting lineup for Atlanta United, and it just like scrolls around the entire upper deck of the stadium with pictures, names, everything. Like it's completely in HD, and it just goes around 360.
the outside looks like a goddamn Rubik's Cube. It's a mess. Holy
That's
crap.
fine. They'll
Like,
fix it. All they have to do is put the colors together.
yeah, hold on. Scotty screen share here. Brought to you by no one. Inquiries available. Look at this damn. It looks like a Ron Geary situation. Ron
true.
Geary. Whatever. Who's the guy who does the art, the abstract art? Whatever. What is this?
That
Are you talking about
could
the-
fall very
Are you
far.
talking about like MC Escher?
Yeah, he had the steps, but the guy who does the architecture things, he did weird like film
The
harmonic
Guggenheim?
stuff.
Hold on, did you just say that Escher did the steps for this?
He did this.
stadium?
Yeah, it was amazing. They just fall one into each other. People can't get to their seats. It's just, it looks like it's a different level, but it's the actual same level. It's a metaphor. Anyway, folks.
You got to go up to the first level.
Oh, you got to go up on a
Are
Tuesday.
you talking about
brother.
Frank Lloyd Wright?
Possibly. I don't know.
Maybe not. I just googled
Maybe.
famous architects. We got Renzo Piano. He's famous.
Ooh, I
That
love
is
his
made
job.
up. That's definitely made up.
Yes.
That's a made up name.
Frank Gehry. That's
Frank
also
Gehry,
made up.
that's who I wanted. Frank
Yeah.
Gehry was the guy I was talking. He was on The Simpsons. Frank Gehry is fantastic.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's all I had. This week we'll be talking to people and stuff and things and stuff. But first, Johnny P, regale us. How was the Boise State? You went to the Boise State.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Also
that's
known
pretty
as
nice.
Idaho.
I got a T-shirt.
see that.
Bring something up. Is that what you're trying to do over there?
No, I just wanted to show you guys a picture of Frank Gehry. It's Frank Gehry. It's right there.
That's tremendous.
That's great.
Yeah,
Is
see
that
the
Spanish? Is that what that says?
Yeah, he's giving Spanish critics the middle finger.
Well, you see the picture in the the fifth picture there. Yeah, that
this
one.
little guy.
That looks like Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
It's true. It does.
Yes.
So does this a little bit.
That is absolutely.
Whatever that is, but this more so.
Yeah.
Also, there's that. Whatever that is.
did he create the bean?
He seems like he'd be a bean kind of guy.
He'd be a
There's
bean
that
counter.
also.
Jesus.
I
Whatever
feel
that
like
is.
whoever created the bean was high on some sort of drug.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's
Who
probably
made the
him.
bean
Actually, it probably is
in
him.
Chicago?
Who made the bean?
Pictures of him flicking people off. Is that his gig?
Right. I think it's just the same one. That's the only picture they have.
Anish
Wow.
Kapoor.
Pardon
Anish-
me?
Oh, okay, Anish Kapoor.
Good for him.
Anish Kapoor. There we go. All right. I will stop sharing. I want to hear about Boise State.
I do too.
Oh.
Johnny, how was Boise?
So, like any good tourist would do, I picked up a T-shirt in the airport on the way out. It's a nice T-shirt.
It looks pretty comfy.
Looks great. It's pretty comfy. It's got Boise State. It was founded in 1932 with the Bronco logo on it. So I got that. We went to. They have a lot of good breweries in Boise. We went to this one, Boise Brewing. It's a very
Pretty on the
thought out
nose.
name. Very thought out
Yeah.
name for Boise Brewing. But they had these really great pint glasses that are metal, and they kind of act like a hydro flask. They keep things cold, they keep things hot, and they don't sweat on the outside. No sweating, so it's
good.
you can't drop them. Can't drop it. I don't think. So yeah, I got that going on. What else did I get? I literally have a bullet with my name on it.
That's weird. I saw that, and that was a
That's it
little
right
disturbing.
there, right there. Literally a bullet with my name on it, but it's a bottle opener. See, look, you just here, got it, and then
That's
I can
impressive.
put the bullet down.
So
that
that's really good for shotgunning beers. Hey, little step back swish.
actually, that's probably more of a sniper rifle for a beer, but yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
But yes, I like that. That's good. That is good. That was. I'm just gonna fill this up to the top.
Yeah, fill it.
there. All right.
What's the choice today?
I'm going Neon Gypsy today. They were the easiest ones to grab, and I decided because I was drinking out of the same glass, I was just going to stay with the same thing all night.
Smart.
Neon Gypsy, Indian Pale Ale from Duclaw. What else do I have?
Mark, got to
I
talk
came
this
home
over.
with
I was
Came home
waiting.
with the
I wanted
Idaho
to see if John
Spud.
was finished.
What? What?
Is that a potato in a bag?
Spud.
Is that a
It
potato in a
is,
bag?
it's the candy bar that made Idaho famous.
I don't trust that candy bar for the
No,
life of me.
not at all.
I've not
Mm-mm.
tried it. Maybe after I drink some, I'll try it on the show and see. I can give my thoughts.
At least we'll be able to react.
I'm literally
because
the
this is
worst
in
person
live.
to ask what
live
something
time.
tastes like, though.
I can send someone to your house if I need to.
Right.
And we got a tiny airplane bottle of Huckleberry vodka. I'm guessing it's straight from Doc Holliday.
Mhm.
So I don't know what this tastes like either. Maybe I'll do that on the show. Who knows? But Boise, yes, we'll get back to it. Boise's a great little city. It's tiny. When we were driving through, one of the Lyft drivers was driving through, and he apologized to me for all the traffic. And I didn't mean to laugh, but I did laugh. And I was kind of like, "Oh, you mean these 12 cars?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, the traffic apparently is out of control in Boise. Lots of good hikes. I have some pictures. I put them up on the Facebook thing. Maybe I'll link to it through Face Off Hockey Show. Did all that. Did the weddingness. People got married. There were pictures taken. There were drinks to be had. I went on a tour of Boise with a girl that I met named Leslie, who I'm pretty certain is the mayor of Boise.
Interesting.
And either that or she runs the tourism department, one of the two.
Either way.
But she could give Brian Metzger, Archbishop Duke Brian Metzger, a run for his money.
Interesting.
Like while we were walking around Boise, I think she ran into like 4 people she knew. I was like, wow, it's amazing.
Impressive.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So that was fun. What else? Good food, good beer. The hotel I stayed in made me check out a day early because I was part of the wedding block, but then check back in literally at the same time, which caused me to lock all of the keys in my room. Yeah. They have this float thing where you it's like a lazy river. You float down the river, but all the water comes from the mountains, so it's cold. It's like really cold. Like shrivel your balls cold almost, I think.
Nice. It's always good on a summer.
I got to see the blue turf. I have blue turf on the way. It should be here before the next show.
Yeah, I think we discovered that at the end of last show or after we went off the air. I think
it was after.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't remember last show, to be honest.
No, me either.
But yeah, all in all, great trip. It's not easy to get to.
Boise?
Had to fly Minneapolis to Boise. And then on the way home, left Boise at 5:30 in the morning and then had like a 3-hour layover in Minneapolis before I could come home.
At least Minneapolis has a mall. You can go walking down.
That's true. There's a lot of stuff to do in Minneapolis. Boise's airport's not very big.
Minneapolis, there's a ton of crap in there.
I ate Chinese food from Payway in Minneapolis. Didn't finish it all. Brought it home on the plane with me. All in all, it was a good trip. Good trip. Now I'm off work all week. Because I'm going to the U.S. national team World Cup qualifier on Friday night.
That's right.
In New York.
Hey, I'm in New York.
So yeah. Yeah. All in all, it's been a good week. Good week since the last show. Had a good time. Got some sun. You can probably tell. Chopped off some of the hair this morning. Didn't screw much up. Yeah. Not much has gone wrong in the past week, which is good.
Always a plus. Always like that.
And I'm still alive after climbing up to the top of a thing called Table Rock.
Table Rock. I think isn't that a Dave Matthews song? I don't know. We'll have to talk to McClure.
I think Rockapella did it.
Oh, even better.
We gotta get McClure back on too.
Sure. By the way, I found out what a Idaho Split actually is.
Okay.
The candy bar is
it's got chocolate.
Candy bar.
It's cocoa flavored. Marshmallow center, which is covered in compound chocolate. And the oblong shape. And sprinkled with coconut flakes.
Sorry, if this was from Baltimore, it would have been sprinkled with Coke. I just would have stopped at that point.
Yep. So it's chocolate covered marshmallow with coconut flakes. It resembles a potato.
Sounds like something that I probably shouldn't eat.
This has everything that people hate thrown into a one candy bar.
It for breakfast tomorrow, though. It probably will sustain me through the day.
Probably. It would probably be there because you probably won't have a goddamn appetite afterwards.
Is there anything more weird than randomly finding marshmallow in something that you didn't expect it to be in?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
I can't think of one off the top of my head, but that's I'd say that's
not
like
by enough.
An 8 on the weirdness scale, probably. Maybe like a 7.
I'd say more 8.5. I'd go the other way.
Yeah,
apparently I'm saying Boise wrong. I have to say the S, and it's not Boise.
Boise.
As soon as I got back here, my Baltimore accent has come out, and it's like Boise, but it's Boise. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Go down to Boise, get your Idaho Spud there, hon. It pairs very well with a natty bow. I'm not gonna lie to you. The coconut really makes it pop.
Are you going to go to that little town that's north of Baltimore? Baltimore guy?
What do you mean, Dundalk, hon?
No. Further north, like on 83.
The Hereford Zone?
Too far north. A little further south.
Tell me what you want to do, because I'm not getting this gimmick.
People pronounce Towson. That's I was trying to get you to go to
Towson there, hon. Go to Towson. You'd be fantastic. Huh?
It's an S, not a Z.
No, it's fine. Towson. It's TOWELSOZON. Towson.
Wasn't he a quarterback for the Browns at some point? Yeah.
That's Vinny Testaverde. Remember, he's the first Ravens quarterback. Before Joe Flacco came to town. It was a good time. He's got a bad back, I don't know what the Ravens are going to do this year, though. Ryan Mallett a piece of garbage.
They say he's going to be back.
He's still playing football?
Yeah, he's the backup for
Hold
the
on. Are we?
Ravens.
Oh. Wow.
Not
He was
Testaverde.
terrible when I remember watching
Yeah.
football.
Yeah, not Testaverde, Ryan
Not
Mallett.
Testaverde.
Yeah, no, still. Like, don't we? Isn't there like an arena football quarterback that could play better than Ryan Mallett?
Oh, I'm sure he plays for the Brigade.
Yeah, at least he's in town.
Actually, I heard that the Ravens were trying to sign that guy.
I wouldn't be surprised. But, Colin Kaepernick can't get a job.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, Mark, did you get a candy that has coconut flavor on top of it? Looks like a potato?
Nope. No candy.
No? Damn.
No candy. Just naked fish.
What?
I got my naked fish tonight.
Aren't all fish naked?
Depends. Have you ever seen SpongeBob?
Depends if you descale them.
And that's true. It's true. They do have covered in scales. And yes, SpongeBob does. Some of them do have pants.
At least I didn't have double naked fish. I don't have any double naked fish.
It sounds like
Is that
a
it?
party.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a hoot.
Yep. But yeah, nothing too crazy with my weekend. Drafted a fantasy football team. That was about it with the Matt Death crew. Nothing. It was a little less crazy than years past.
Well, everyone's hunkering down. You're going to have a kid. Matt Death's getting married.
Yeah. Yep.
Everyone else probably has some kind of family situation that they're suppressing. I don't know.
Yep. It's all happening. It's all happening.
It's all happening, baby.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, nothing too crazy. We have about 5 weeks, little over 5 weeks left. That's what happens when we say that we had a little over 6 weeks last week, and we're a week.
Jesus, your kid's going to be born on
Later.
opening night.
God, I love how math is.
Yeah, it's funny how 7 days go by and we're now 5 weeks. So yeah, the official due date is October 6th. It's a Friday.
That's a couple days after opening night.
Couple days,
Yep,
but
opening night is when the kid's going to show up.
the kid
That's
might
going to be
come
amazing
a
because
little sooner than that.
opening night, Enrico Patanzo will show up, and then then he'll be able to watch the Caps win the Stanley Cup in his first year.
Yeah, he can sing the national anthem too.
Great.
And save the
Enrico
Queen.
Patanzo. And save the Queen.
Perfect. Love it.
So yeah, that'd be great. I mean, as John, as you know, the year I was born, the Orioles won the World Series. So it would just be fitting if the year that my son was born, the Caps won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
I'll put it-
the year
I'll
I
put
was born, nothing happened. It was just Alex Trebek.
the year my kid was born, the Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup. No, they were just coming off their Stanley Cup win because she was born in September. She's gonna be 11 this year. Jesus Christ.
What year was she born? Was that a Sox? Was that a Sox year?
06. I think it was. What's that?
Might have been a Sox year. Let me see who won the World Series in '06. That might have been a Giants year.
No, it's probably.
Well,
I think
it's an even year. It was probably the Giants.
I think it's the Cards actually.
Let's see.
I love three people that
Looks like the
very rarely
Cardinals.
watch baseball trying to figure out who won the World Series that year.
The Detroit Tigers got beaten by the St. Louis Cardinals. Good call. Look at you with the memory.
Yeah, because it was during that time where the Cardinals made the World Series and won only one of them. Same with the Rangers. Rangers made the World Series a lot during that time. They had a
Yeah.
crackhead for a coach. It was great.
Good
Former
times.
crackhead coach.
Marion Barry?
Yeah, I think he was. I think he was first base coach.
Sprinkle some crack on them, Johnson. Let's get out of here.
All right. Well, I guess it's to me. I did nothing. I got a new chair. That's about it for my weekend.
Are you
Huh?
sitting in it right now?
I'm sitting in the new chair.
Ooh, it looks comfy.
Little office chair.
Yeah.
I'm going all the way around. I can't. I gotta go back. Gotta go back because I'm knocking the microphone over. But it's it's a nice little Office Max chair. It's great.
Looks good. Looks comfy. Does it go up and down?
Does it go up and down? Does it go? This guy does go up and down. Goes up, and just a little drop top. And there we go. Up and down.
good.
It rocks back and forth.
Back
a
and
little rocking
forth.
motion.
That's great. You've got your.
I
pick,
kind of
you've
miss
got
the rocking chair you had last week, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's out there. It's in the living room now. So
When we do the flashback, you need to like walk over, pick up the rocking chair, and bring it back in.
We need to cut it out. Have a lot of inane screaming. And I'll come back with like a lantern. Be like Bray Wyatt. Be fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah. You've got your pitch and your yaw. Now you need your roll. You just need to roll.
Oh baby, I got my roll on. You know me. Shit, son.
Yeah,
Roll.
Scotty's like
Do a
Delamitri.
Do a barrel roll.
Do barrel. Yeah, we are officially, as of today, no longer 2 residency people. We finally got to walk through on the old
How does
apartment.
that feel?
Oh, God, like it's such a relief. Holy shit! Like the move. I would give a early shout out to Jen, who did a lot of the moving and cleaning, because most of it was her stuff. But she did a hell of a
Yeah.
damn job on it. So, big
I
ups
would have
to
given
her.
you more props if you had gone moving and shaken, but I understand the cleaning.
I
Yeah,
hope you didn't leave anything behind. So you
we
don't
did.
have
Well,
to.
we went to the walkthrough today. It's funny because every time I talked about the old apartment. I played Bare Naked Ladies 1 week.
Yeah, I was about to say.
As
I
you
hope you
should.
have to
You
break
played,
in.
hold on, you played 1 week in that old apartment?
Wait, what? There's a song called Old Apartment.
Yeah, it's where you
I was
leave things, and then and then you break back in order to try to get your things back. You're
Oh,
like,
I
why
was
did you
playing,
keep the dish?
I was playing 1 week, and then if we had $1 million.
Oh,
Oh, you
well,
know what?
I mean,
that would have
both
been
of
a
those
lot
songs do
better.
work.
Yeah,
Both of
now you
those
have to go
songs
back.
work. That's fine. That's fine.
Let's go
Okay.
back now.
Yeah.
It's the home of the Robbies.
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah. I didn't even think about Old Apartment.
Well, so technically, it wasn't your old apartment until after you finished the walkthrough. So, like,
Yeah.
you could have like dropped the mic with the old apartment, but you don't want to drop your phone because then you'd break shit.
Yeah, exactly. So, and my data plan's up because I went to Canada and used it there. Oops. So, other than that, yeah, it was just we're finally all packed into this place. I got Studio 97 almost. I'm missing one bookshelf that I have to buy because the one that I bought was actually from Walmart and it was just packed sawdust. And you try to screw it in and it just breaks. So that was $10 well spent.
I didn't think that you could find stuff that was cheaper than IKEA.
Yeah, no, dude, Walmart all day, every day. They just packed like sawdust into what looked like a shelving unit, and then you screw it in. If you tie it a little too tight, it just breaks in half. So,
Is
Oh.
that where they got the tables from when the Dudleys used to put people
I
through
think
the
so.
tables?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh, and also we got wrestling tickets for the end of the month. So Jen and I will be
Nice.
going to wrestling at the end of the month as WWE Raw brand comes to Grand Forks. So good time had by all.
Speaking of WWE, the John Cena and Roman Reigns interaction
Oh.
this week was fantastic.
Oh, that was great. I loved every minute of it. Because I was sitting there and I'm just like, I'm seeing a guy just get broke in a big way. Take that, big dog. So maybe John Cena will show up at the event we're going to.
I
don't know.
I feel like it was all well and good right up until the point where John Cena was like, "I'm here because you can't do your job."
That
And I
was
was like,
hilarious.
"Oh, I'm like that is a kick in the junk."
I'm like, ooh, I don't care if that was scripted. That's oh boy, oh boy. By the way, I'm drinking a fine local. It's underground beer. It's called a Bud Light. Not a lot of people know about it.
Do you have any natty daddies up there in North Dakota?
The hell did you just tell me?
A natty daddy. Do you have any natty daddies up there in North Dakota?
What is a natty daddy?
Well, wouldn't you like
It's
to
become
know?
the homeless beer of
It sort of has.
Really?
So it's an 8% natty light.
Jesus,
So it's like a Bud Ice essentially. It's what Bud Light is.
no,
to
it's a
Bud Ice.
natty. It's a natty ice that they turned into. They changed the name, right? And they made
Oh,
it
did they?
8%. It's not an 8% natty light. You can't do that.
yeah,
that's
that's kind of a weird.
It's not natty light anymore.
No.
It's natty Mark Henry.
Somebody going to get their ass beat? Is that what you're talking?
It's the world's strongest beer.
I was going to say, it just sweats a lot. Like, what's happening?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was terrible. I
They
had to
sell
have
it in
one at the fantasy
25
draft.
ounce beers.
Yeah,
Natty
I had-
Daddy got
that's
a 1% rating on ratebeer.com.
out of what 100, I hope.
out of 100.
It was pretty terrible.
How was the chugging, Mark?
It was
Sorry, I
awful.
cut you off.
It was awful. It was just terrible.
How much did you do? Just a 12? Did you do a little boy or a big one?
Well, the only one that anyone could find was a 25-ounce Natty Daddy. I'm pretty sure that might be the only way that they make them.
Oh, you're not going to get stubbies of that. Come on now.
No, so I drank. The agreement was that I would drink half of it. I believe that I made it through about a third of it before I tapped out. So, and then everybody wanted to try it because they're dummies. It was
Sure.
terrible.
No.
I feel like some like beer company really missed out on an opportunity by not making Steve Weisers.
Oh, yeah. I think they did.
I mean, Budweiser already renamed themselves America for the summer. I don't see why they can't rename themselves Steve Weiser
it's
for a while.
It's funny because what was it? I think it's Surly Brewing Company has a beer called America. And I drank that in Chicago. That was a fun time.
Dude, Claus has a new beer called Don't Tell Me the Odds.
Nice. That's a good one. You know, need more Natty Bo up here. That's all I'm gonna say.
I can ship it to you, all right?
Probably could. In any case. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Apparently schools are starting around here. Whatever. Yeah. Here we are. Here we are as a people, ladies and gentlemen. Should we get this?
We don't have any injuries this week.
Don't have any injuries.
No, I can't play injury music.
That's a shame. You could.
Oh, I have news music though. I can play that.
You could play some news music. Give me some news.
Do you want to play our news music?
Give me some news music. I need some news
All right.
music.
Really loud.
Yeah, I need to fix
was
that
very
one too.
loud. Yeah, that was a little.
Sorry. It's aggressive.
loud.
That one's aggressive.
I'll
fix that one.
got into the. Oof. Woof.
I'm going through all of our old files and updating them while I have my time off of work.
Looks fantastic. Here we are. So, Will Butcher, the Will Butcher sweepstakes, ladies and gentlemen, over and done with. I got to fly in here too. Johnny, you said you had a fly in the beginning of your show. Now I have
I
a
do.
fly in my room. I can
Don't
hear it
send them.
audibly through my headset.
Don't send them my
Did it
way,
co-
please.
Did it come through the internet? Because I can't find it in my house anymore, so maybe it came through to yours.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
That's how the internet works. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just pipes that things can like go through.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Anyway, Will Butcher has made the lateral move in signing with the New Jersey Devils after not signing with the Colorado Avalanche.
Yes, very much lateral, super lateral,
Super lateral.
like all the way across the country. Lateral.
It's,
I think
it's
it was-
not even closer to home, right? He played in Denver.
I don't know where he's from. I'll check that.
Oh,
Uh,
damn it. That's the thing I forgot too. Sorry, I had one more thing on my trip. The one of the hotels that people stayed at is attached to CenturyLink Arena where the Idaho Steelheads play.
Nice. Go Steelheads.
Yeah. I saw some signs for the Idaho Steelheads.
By the way, this also coming on the heels of Alex Carefoot signing with the Colorado Avalanche after being drafted by the Devils. So this basically was just a trade between the Devils and the Avalanche, but not being a trade.
How awesome would it be if they signed them and then traded them?
Right. Will Butcher also from Madison, Wisconsin, so definitely not really close to home at all. So
How is this done? Like,
how do you mean?
maybe we can get a chance. Maybe.
How do you mean?
Like, I don't. Maybe we can talk to people that know how this was done. Because I'd
Yeah, we could.
like.
We could see because there is an interesting tie into all this because the agent, I believe, is a Maryland boy.
Yes, he is. Brian Bartlett. He played hockey at Maryland.
Yeah.
I drank with him at some parties at Maryland.
Wait a minute,
I believe I might be Facebook friends with this Brian Bartlett. I'll have to see if I can chat him up and
Are
see
you
if we can
Facebook
get some
friends with
details.
Will Bowers?
No,
Ooh, that'd be-
no, I just played beer pong with him once and he was terrible.
That's
Well, he couldn't
shocking.
make anything while he was on the court.
Yeah, I mean it's really silly. Come on, man, you're that close. You're super tall.
Yeah.
Just drop him in the cup. Like I remember Bozo when we were kids. It's like Bozo the Clown. Just put him in the cup. He was that kid.
That's so
couldn't-
easy. How did
he
people
was
ever
that
miss
kid
those?
that couldn't throw the ping pong ball into the big bucket at the end and didn't win prizes because he's a dummy.
Sounds
Do you not
about right.
remember that? Do you guys don't remember that?
No, I remember that.
Is everybody else too young to remember that?
No, I remember that was on WGN. Your kid had to stand at the line. You throw at the 1, and then you'd go all the way down to 8. And I think you got like a TV or something. I don't remember.
There's
Yeah, it's
YouTube
like a
video of
13-inch
Kevin.
black and white TV that you won.
Yeah, Kevin on the Bozo show.
Yeah.
Is on YouTube right now. That's what I'm looking at. Let's see if the kid. Yep, there we go. Yep. Let me share that because this is the game I'm talking about, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to be able to show it for very long, or else we're going to get some sort of claim on our video.
By who?
But
As long as we don't play audio, we're
remember,
fine.
he used to give like $20, $50 bills out. That's a grant right there. See, and look, this was the original beer pong. You got him in a line right there. Kevin's rolling up his sleeves to try and throw the ping pong ball into the beer pong cups.
Bozo looks terrifying.
Oh, he was scary. Very scary. Very super scary. Yeah.
Is
So
Bozo what it was made after?
it, yes. Or vice versa. Hey, look, he got the first cup. Will Bowers would have missed that. That's how bad it is. Anyway,
We've gone down a
the old
rabbit
school
hole of going
Pepsi.
with Bozo the Cloud shows.
There we go. So I don't know how much
Look how
longer-
old that Pepsi logo is. My
get-
God.
You get the point. So there's Bozo.
And there's our rundown.
And there's the rundown.
Ha! Proof that I did look at the rundown. Before
Oh
the
no, I,
show.
I see you on the rundown. Shows me who's there. So
Trying
there
to
you go.
figure out when I should take this Huckleberry vodka and find out what it tastes like. Maybe before Lyle gets on.
You should do it and then take a thing of the Idaho Spud. Just get really, really messed up. We're not working tomorrow.
When
who
you take a
cares?
shot of Huckleberry vodka, do you have to end it with "I'm your Huckleberry" and then like chaser or what? How does that work? Like I've never. I don't even know what Huckleberry is.
It's a
I'm so
berry.
confused.
It's a herring.
Sorry.
It's a berry. Anyway, one little career starting and one ending. Shane Doan announced his retirement after 21 years in the NHL. Played for the Jets and the Coyotes, and that was it. So good for him.
So when do they retire his number? Because I hope that occurs.
Probably
quick.
November. Probably November.
Good.
So
It should. I mean, he was the face of the franchise.
He stuck with that team
Entire
far
time
longer
it was
than
in
he should
Arizona.
have. Far
Yeah.
longer than he should have.
Yeah, I agree.
Now who takes the reins of this team? That's the question. My bet, Max Domi. Because I
Give him
mean,
the
God
keys
damn.
now. Might as well. I mean, it worked for the Oilers, and it's not so much working for the Sabres right now. But you know, it could.
Well,
I mean, he is driving the entire truck.
Yeah.
Jack Eichel in Buffalo, obviously. So yeah, maybe why not give it to Max Domi? See what happens.
Sure. I don't
Although
see a
he might
problem.
drive it to Kansas City.
Well, I don't think he's going to help. He's going to help or hinder that. That's probably going to happen regardless. But we'll see how that goes. Speaking of retiring, some honoring, as the Anaheim Ducks are going to honor Paul Kariya and Teemu Selanne. They will both be heading to the Hall of Fame. I assume their numbers are going to be retired by the Ducks. Paul Kariya should.
Yeah, Timu.
Paul Kariya should, but should
Yeah.
Solani's?
At what point? Where do you draw the line for number retiring? Because Solani should be retired as a Jet, as far as I'm concerned.
Why?
Because I associate his career.
See, I would
more
have
with-
gone Duck.
Yeah, or the Ducks. Yeah, the Jets or the Ducks. I don't see. No, I don't know. I see it more with the Jets.
He played seasons with the Jets. He played 15 seasons with Anaheim. Then 4 years with Winnipeg, 3 years with San Jose, and 1 year, that one terrible year in Colorado.
See, you know what I was thinking? I was actually thinking of that Colorado year. I wasn't thinking that he had played. I didn't think that we were talking about Anaheim. I thought we were talking about Colorado since they always do stupid shit like this.
Oh yeah, no. That'd
And
be
I was
great.
like, wow,
You know what?
they're honoring Paul Kariya and Teemu Selanne. That's amazing.
How fitting would that be for the terrible Colorado team to bring the probably, arguably, two of the best players, the combos in Anaheim, at that point in the league? How fitting would it be to bring the two guys together who had the worst seasons in their career in Colorado to honor them? That'd be amazing.
They
for
do
one, would
it
enjoy
though.
They
Why
would.
would they not do it?
Why
Like
they
I
should.
feel like Colorado's like, yep, they played for us. Let's bring them back. They're Hall of Famers now.
Exactly. Tired of the numbers, make it happen, boys.
Didn't they already do that for Bork? Bork.
Yeah, they did. The fun and the funny thing is they tried to
months after he retired.
and they tried to do it before Boston did it, and that was hilarious. Also, people are saying, does Shane Doan deserve a Hall of Fame induction? God, no. No.
I'll give you Timu for the Ducks. I concede. You win.
Okay.
I say no also, but I believe that Anaheim should do something really good. Arizona should do something really good for Shane Doan.
Oh no, I think Shane Doan should get a statue before they hightail it to Kansas City, and then go from there. But
Screw it,
is he
big statue in Kansas City? He'll be there before the team does.
is he Hall of Fame worthy? God no. God no. What did he do? 972 points. He didn't hit that pinnacle 1,000. 402 goals. Didn't hit that pinnacle 500. Those are benchmarks.
At what point is there just going to be a down year though, where longevity and loyalty gets you into the Hall of Fame?
Oh, that's probably coming soon. I wouldn't doubt it.
Like there has to be a point within the next 10 years where there's just no one that goes in that can go into the Hall of Fame, and they're like, well, how about Shane Doan?
If Dave Vanderchuk wouldn't have won a Stanley Cup, I feel like that's sort of Shane Doan. No? Or was Vanderchuk that much better than Shane Doan?
Oh, Andrew Chuck's that much better than Shane Doan.
Okay. I feel like Shane Doan had a really good career, but then again, I just caught the tail end of Vanderchuk's career. So
Andrew Chuck is he was a mercenary, and I think that was the problem. He was a very mercenary guy. 1,300 points, 640 goals, in over 1,600 games. But again, longevity there. But Shane Doan, Shane Doan. Let's see his numbers. No, we said 972 for points, 406 for goals, 402. He played 1,500 games and only had 972 points.
okay, so Andrew Chuck's far better player.
He played
I
almost as
apologize.
many games as Andrew Chuck.
I apologize.
Shane Doan played on an AHL team for 15 years,
He could have got out.
at least 10.
He had 2 30-goal seasons. 2. I don't know why people are saying Hall of Fame worthy.
Okay, so here's my problem with the Hall of Fame then. Like there isn't more than one.
I was gonna say, do we have the time?
That's like this scene in Ocean's 11 where it's like I only have one. So they have a guy. There are people like Cam Neely who didn't put up great numbers because his career was cut short. But then there's a guy that played for 20 plus years that was like, okay, he didn't really put up great numbers, but he played for a really long time. Like I don't get the correlation between the two is my problem.
I think it's also because Cam Neely had a closer point per game situation.
Yeah, but who knows? He could have been shit in the next 10 years if he had played still.
He could have, but when you think Cam Neely back in the early mid 80s, power forward comes to mind. They didn't have that in the NHL then. It was all finesse guys. But you have a guy with as big as body as Cam Neely was for that time. That's where it gets. Shane Doan did not revolutionize anything except for trying to get a team to stay in a place they don't want to stay in. And I think that's really where it comes down to. I mean, Shane Doan. If Shane Doan gets in, Ryan Smith gets in, and it's only because they have international accolades to go with him.
So Shane Doan gets in because he kept the team in Arizona that Bettman wanted.
Single-handedly, Gary Bettman puts his boat in here. He uses
What if they put Shane Doan in as a builder?
Hey, he did a great job.
He did
in Arizona building hockey from the ground up.
From literally. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Put him in as a builder. I like it. But yeah, I mean, Cam Neely and like Pavel Bure, you know, these guys who had their careers cut short. I think they're different in terms of how they were able to distance themselves from the norm. I don't think anybody has saw what we saw out of Pavel Bure when he came in the league. Like, this kid was fast. He was dynamic. He did things that now Alex Ovechkin just calls regular. But like Pavel Bure was amazing. Cam Neely brought the powerhouse side of things in a place like Boston. You kidding me? Boston eats that shit up.
I guess that makes sense because I feel like people in the Hall of Fame are or should be players that were ahead of their time.
Mm-hmm.
Because so all of the really, whenever you see old footage of the NHL, you always see people that like Gretzky who just skated like 10 times better than everybody else in the league at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he deserves to be one of the greatest players ever. Mario Lemieux kind of like followed through with that power forward thing and scored a lot of goals, but he was just that much better than everybody else in that era. Maybe I just don't remember. I feel like with Bure, like Fedorov was around also. And I don't remember I don't remember Cam Neely's career that well. I just kind of remember him in Folklore.
Mm-hmm. And this was a time before a really big national TV package too. So, like the Cam Neelys in the world, you're only going to see a couple times a year on WDCA when the Caps play him. So, but you're right about Fedorov. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten more love from the Hall of Fame. Wait, is he in? I don't know.
I mean, he was super fast. He was he might be in actually.
Oh,
he played longer though. Is he in?
No, he is not. Oh yeah, he is. 2015. Holy shit. All right, well,
missed that one completely.
Wow. Oops.
Well, then, yeah, everything I said for the last 3 minutes is bullshit, and I will cut it out in post.
All right, perfect. Love it. So we'll leave a pause here, and there we go. Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, Fedorov's in, right? Is he? Hold on.
I have no idea anymore.
Yeah, he was inducted in
like there are people at this point that like sharpen skates for a living that are in the Hall of Fame.
That's true, but that's just longevity. Hopefully, we'll go ahead and be in the Hockey Hall of Fame for the broadcasting side sooner or later.
I can't wait until we rent out the Hockey Hall of Fame and then we tell people we're in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we'll broadcast it. Our induction to the Hockey Hall of Fame will be here. No, we didn't rent it out. Go screw yourself. Speaking of retired numbers and Hall of Famers, Eric Lindros is going to have his number 88 retired by the Philadelphia Flyers. It's going to be the first time in history that Eric Lindros will have his head up when he's on the ice. So congratulations to him. It's a very big, momentous occasion.
It's good. Who are they playing by any chance? Would it happen to be Scott Stevens?
Oh, I would love
the
to
Devils?
See. He stepped down for the Minnesota Wild, so I don't know where he's at now. It'd be tremendous if it was, though.
I thought he was coaching somewhere.
He was coaching with the Wild last year. I don't know if he's still there this year. Boudreaux may have cleaned house on that instance. But
that's good though. He was one of the really great players for the Flyers during that like early '90s era.
Again, it's the power forward thing where he's a guy who big, could score, had great hands.
But again, he's someone that's in the Hall of Fame.
Yes. But again, it's that whole redefined position. I know Lyle and I have go ahead and by the way, Scott Stevens resigned last year from the Minnesota Wild.
He re-signed or he resigned?
Resigned with a Z, like Boise.
Z.
So
it's so sad. I knew exactly where you were going with
that. So anyway, yeah, no, like he's a guy who at the time, 6'6" dude, huge guy, hated Quebec. A lot of people were all about that. So
hating Quebec?
Yeah,
I feel like Quebec is easily hateable though.
We were there. It was kind of easily hateable. Well, we were in the English part of Quebec. It wasn't the bad part of Quebec. You know, the French part.
With all the crime and stuff.
Exactly, with all the crime and the bootleg poutine. I wonder what bootleg poutine is. Whatever. We'll get to that later. We should have this Hall of Fame discussion with Lyle because Lyle's a big We should actually have Laura on too. But
Yeah, let's ask Lyle what he thinks if Shane Doan should be in the Hall of Fame. He'll give us a very short answer, though, I bet.
it'll be like, fuck that. Alex Ovechkin showing up to camp early and in trimmer, fitter, slimmer fashion. Married life getting him good, and now the question is, can he regain that fantastic form that the Caps fans all want and love and everything?
I saw that picture. It's going to suck when he goes back to Russia to play in the Olympics.
It's going to be weird. It's going to be very weird when he retires. So be a fun time. Air Canada Center, if you're scoring at home or even if you're alone, has been renamed. It will now be called Scotiabank Arena, giving Scotiabank 3 arenas. Shell.
Hold on, what?
Calgary, Ottawa, and now in Toronto.
But why?
Look, kids, RBC.
Because they're the only thing that has money.
But what happened to Air Canada? Air Canada has to have enough money to still do this.
Nope, Scotiabank. They're all about the Scotiabank. Scotiabank Saddle Dome.
I feel like I would be really pissed off if I had money in a bank and they were like, you know what? We make enough money that we're going to put our name on 3 different arenas.
I agree.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not. It's Canadian Tire Center now. It used to be Scotiabank Place. I apologize. So only 2 arenas. I apologize.
So one of the arenas. That's a good business decision. Selling to move yourself up in the world. I like it.
The deal. Do you want to know how much the deal was for? To get the naming rights.
American.
Close. $7.
Yeah, but $7 American is at least 150 Canadian.
That's true. That's true. Anybody want to really venture a guess? It's a 20-year deal, by the way.
Oh.
Ooh.
It'll become Scotiabank Arena July 2018. So this year is the last year for Air Canada. So if you want to get your Air Canada Center swag, you better get it soon.
I'm gonna go with 220 million.
220?
220 mil Canadian.
And that's for the bulk of it?
Yes,
For
that's
the 20-year
for
deal?
all 28 years or whatever.
20 years. You're saying 250 million?
I think I said 220 to be
220.
fair.
Sorry.
I don't know. We can go back to the tape, but
220.
I'm gonna stick with 220.
Johnny.
God, this sounds like an awful deal for 20 years if that's what they get. I feel like in order to make this make any type of sense whatsoever, it's got to be in like the 450 range.
So you're
Probably
going
Canadian,
450? It's all Canadian. We're dealing with Canadian dollars here. You say 450?
Sure, I'll stay. Final answer.
450, 220. You're both way off. For the 20-year deal starting next July, $800 million.
Wow.
10 times the amount that Air Canada is reportedly paying.
Well, F that. I mean, you could call my arena like shits on this place for $800 million over the next 20 years.
Brought to you by what? Brazzers?
I don't know. Maybe the Idaho Spud. I haven't eaten it yet. So. Not sure. Wow, that is a lot of. Well, you know what? First of all, 1, I would be really mad if I was part of Scotiabank. 2, there's 0 chance that Toronto could have done anything about that.
No. Scotiabank comes in. We got $800 million for 20 years. They're like,
that is an offer they can't refuse.
I'm sorry. What did you say? Well then.
But they're like, but you have to open up a Scotiabank account. Sorry.
By the way, let me see here. Are they going to give it to me?
How is there that much money in naming rights for a hockey arena? Because
it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's why there's enough money. So a 10-year deal for the Capital One Arena. What was naming rights cost?
This is insane to me. I'm sorry.
Okay, 10 years, Capital One Arena. How much over that 10 years do you think it's going to cost? I
bet you it's 150,000 American. I mean 150 million American.
Okay.
I'm gonna sorry. I'm off by a zero. Off by a zero. Sorry.
Off by a couple
Looking at my
zeros, sir. Good one. Mark,
10 years?
over 10 years.
Hmm.
150 is what John said.
I'm gonna go with Tree Fitty.
350. John, you're over by 50. It's 100 million over 10 years.
Oh.
See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, that's more in line with what's normal.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
Adidas swooped in and was like, I'm going to pay the MLS $150 million over 15 years. And they were like, we'll take it.
Here's the fucked up part about it. So I do, if you kids don't know, I do a show with a guy named Wilson called In the Draft. Yeah, it's a racing show. It's about NASCAR. It's great.
What? Really? Do people still watch that?
Apparently. I don't have the numbers, but apparently someone's at least still listening.
Not your show. I meant NASCAR.
Oh, well, that's to be decided. The ratings say no. But the funny thing is that Monster Energy is the now sponsor of the entire main series, the Cup Series. They had a 2-year deal with a 2-year option, which is showing you how great NASCAR has been. It's $20 million a year that they're getting paid for
They are sponsoring the entire thing.
the entire thing, naming rights, things on the cars that have Monster Energy all over it, free branding. This is down. I'm going to try to find what Sprint paid for NASCAR. And I think it was $100 million a year for Sprint paying for NASCAR.
Yeah, but their
So-
network is 1% of Verizon. So the Verizon Indy Cup series. I mean, it's close. It's close in the network from what
Yeah.
I've heard.
It is close, but still an
Is
$80
that
million
still the
drop.
Verizon IndyCar series? Because that was like 3 years ago. It's the last time I saw any of that.
It might be.
Wow. Nice. It's good
so-
topical knowledge.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so NASCAR taking a hit. So it costs less to sponsor an entire racing series, or just about as much, because it's $10 million a year. It costs $20 million less to sponsor the NASCAR series than it does to sponsor the Toronto Maple Leafs Arena for the next 20 years.
That's insane to me.
It's absurd.
First of all, okay, so what's insane to me is that there's a business that will spend that much money and be like, yeah, this is a good expense.
Right? By the way, you are right. It's the Verizon IndyCar series still.
Nice. That's awesome.
But I mean, it's Canada too. Like Scotiabank puts so much money into hockey. Why wouldn't you put all this money into what is arguably the most popular team in Canada?
I get it, but
No, I get it too. It's dumb though.
you have two arenas though, right? So basically now it's like Scotiabank Place in Toronto. Like you have to have a disclaimer. And if at a
Right.
point you have to have a disclaimer, like your marketing
Well,
is shit.
It's Scotiabank Saddle Dome and Scotiabank Arena.
So
So-
my question is,
way
they
different.
could have
My fault.
they probably could have purchased an ad on every board and during every break in between action for less money than $800 million.
Guess what?
So if they really wanted advertising, they didn't need to slap their name on the side of the building.
Hey Mark, guess what? They're still gonna do that.
Yeah. Well, then they're going to be everywhere.
Do that.
Why don't they just use
What type
Bank
of interest
America?
rate
I
does
don't get
Scotiabank
it.
give out?
Yeah, why don't Canadians just use Bank of America?
Because we don't have. Because you just answer your question, dummy.
I know.
But
That's the joke.
how many
That's
RBCs
the
did
joke.
we see? RBCs did we see in Vancouver? I mean, a ton.
Yeah. And there's a
How
lot of
many
RBCs in Calgary too.
in Vancouver? Well, you know.
I mean, it was the
Yes.
same one multiple times,
Yeah.
but we saw a ton of them.
yeah. Depends on which party you went to, I guess.
It's true. By
Place dead anyway.
the way, RBC is actually is that the naming rights of Oh no, it's PNC Arena now. RBC Arena used to be the name of the Raleigh, North Carolina arena
That's
for the
true.
Hurricanes.
Yep.
So the Royal Bank of Canada was sponsoring a team in Carolina.
Makes sense. Well,
Well, maybe it was the Royal Bank of Carolina.
Dude, it was still probably tons cheaper than what Scotiabank's paying right now.
Well, yeah. Of course it was. It had to have been. It has to be the most expensive arena deal
anything.
ever.
Anything. I would love to see if they had a chart of all the naming right prices and how if 40 million a year, if all the arenas combined, how much a percentage is that deal in comparison?
Float that idea to Greg. I bet you it would take him 2 days to get all of that information.
So ESPN has a list of
Oh, thank you, sir.
naming
Wow.
rights. But this is from. So keep in mind, this is from. I mean, this is ESPN
It doesn't
Sports
have dollar
Business.
amounts, does it? Oh,
It does.
sports has a business.
But no, that's what I'm saying. This is on ESPN.go.com. So this is clearly parked. It's been here for a while. So and it's not even an order. Come on, guys. This is a joke.
Well,
Let's
can't
see
you
here.
copy it and paste it into a Google spreadsheet and then order it?
Yeah, I could. That would take so long. Anyway, the most expensive deal on here looks like it's no greater than like $7.6 million. 7.6 mil.
See, I was thinking-
when what's FedEx Field, and that's through 2025. And FedEx has been there since what the mid 90s, early 2000s.
That's for football?
Yeah, 7.6 mil
Wow.
for football through 2025. Total.
So I have this. This one is before the beginning of last season for the NHL. So Honda Center in Anaheim, $4 million a season. Gila River Casino and Gaming, $3 million in Arizona. TD Bank North, $5.95 million. Key Bank does not give in Buffalo does not give a payment. Scotiabank
Sorry,
Saddle. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was yearly. My numbers, by the way. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't-
Scotiabank Saddle Dome, $1 million a season.
Yep. I got
PNC
Reliant Stadium, 10 mil per year. That's Houston Texans Stadium.
Yeah.
10 mil
PNC
through 2032.
PNC Arena, $4 million a year. United Center, $5 million a year. Pepsi Center, $3.4 million a year. Nationwide Arena, they're a majority over to the team, so it's fine. American Airlines Arena, 6.9. Rogers Place, nothing. They don't have a thing there. BB&T Center in Florida, just under $4 million a year. So $20 million a season is almost triple what the highest one is.
That is huge.
Even Bell Center is $3.2 million a season.
I feel like 10 million should be like the highest. That should be the watermark, I think, is 10 million. Once you get over 10 million for naming rights, you're kind of like paying a premium, right?
We have a contender.
Mm-hmm.
Barclays Center, $10 million a season.
No, so you're just talking about hockey now at this point, I'm guessing, right? Because I got other
it's all,
stadiums here.
all hockey arenas.
Okay.
This is a
Well,
hockey.
This is no
show.
fun.
Well, we'll give you
This
some
is
of
a
your
hockey show that talks about a lot of stuff.
The Met.
Yeah,
well,
so-
if we're just talking about ridiculous stadium deals.
Please.
MetLife Stadium has 2 football teams
Mhm.
that play there, so they get double the advertising. 18 million a year. So, that's really you're getting double your price there. AT&T
But again,
Stadium.
it's 16 games versus 41 too, plus
It's
all
true.
the other events.
Yeah, that's true.
It's actually 15 games, right? Because one of them is probably a home game between either the Jets or the Giants.
Well, they still have to play 8 home games each.
Right. He's saying that one home and
Yeah,
one
but
away.
if one of the games is the Jets versus the Giants, then you only get 15 games out of that.
No, that just means the Giants get to play 9 home games that year.
Yeah,
But even
if
though
the Giants are
Jets
the way,
the
yeah,
home team.
yeah.
I see what you're saying though.
I got you.
So AT&T Stadium, 19 million a year from AT&T. That's Jerry World. And the most expensive in American sports is New York's Citi Field for the Mets at 20 million a year.
Wow.
Wow. I have some. We have good live chat tonight.
And that's still 20 million more than, or 20 million less than what Air Canada Center. What's the live chat? What we got?
So Ravi says that that is.
I'm still waiting on that. I'm
off.
still waiting on that picture, Ravi, of you in front of the damn Oyo. So Will got you out.
So he says that it seems like every arena in Canada is either Scotiabank, Rogers, or Bell.
Not wrong. He's not wrong. The only thing they're missing really is TELUS.
And I have intel that says that Albertsons paid $12.5 million to put their name on the blue turf in Boise.
Wow.
For 15 years.
That's just the turf. Like that's not the
well,
actual.
I mean the name of the stadium, not the whole stadium. They have the whole.
Well, there
stadium.
are places there. It isn't College Park Capital One Field at Bird Stadium?
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, it actually is.
It used to be Chevy Chase Field, which was way better.
Right, because it's Chevy Chase.
I mean, only during the time of Fletch, though. After he stopped taking drugs, he wasn't really as good.
That's true.
You know what that stadium was called? Bird Stadium. It's my neighbor of mine. Anyway, folks.
Which bird?
That's the word. I'll tell you that much. Is there anything else we got to talk about? Oh, Bob Hartley signed a 5-year extension with Latvia to be their coach. So congratulations
That's so fantastic.
Bob Hartley, as we talk about that. That's still the naming convention. It's absurd.
So we can get Lyle on.
We should find a way to get Lyle on.
We do have a question.
Okay.
Asking us about the World Junior Championships playing outdoors this December at Buffalo Stadium.
Our take on it?
New Era Field, I guess is what it's correct.
Yeah, New Era Field at the old thing. Do they want our take on it? I guess is the question, or is just they were just saying, "Hey, this is called New Era Field."
I mean, they were mentioning it, but I mean, we could talk about it. It's our show.
Oh, we'll talk about that here in a minute. So we welcome on Lyle Richardson from SpectorsHockey.net. Lyle, how are you, sir?
Hello, I am fine, gentlemen. How are you this evening?
Oh, Lyle, we got some stuff to talk about. We got some tings to talk about. We got some
tings, boy.
First off, your thought on the New Era Field hosting a World Junior Champion. Are you a fan of the outdoor game, especially in a tournament like this? I can understand Winter Classic or Stadium Series, 1 game out of 82. But for a place like the World Juniors, I understand what they're trying to get at by getting a lot of people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Seems a little risque, especially for 2 top teams like that to be playing a tournament game out there in the frozen tundra of post-apocalyptic Buffalo.
I like it. It's old school. It's definitely old school. You got to remember, I mean, we're talking way back in the day, but up until 1960, the Winter Olympics were all held outdoors, all the hockey games. So kind of a nice little throwback, and they do a better job maintaining ice conditions nowadays. So I don't think that that's a big deal. In fact, I think it's a good idea, especially for, as you said, jamming some more people in there. And, hey, it's, you said it's in Buffalo?
In Buffalo.
In Buffalo. So you're going to have all your upstate New York, New England-y type hockey fans coming in. And then you're going to have all the crazed hockey denizens of Southern Ontario flocking across the border. So why not pack them in, make some coin.
Well, so the U.S. and Canada always play on New Year's Eve, right?
Oh yeah,
so
that's the tradition.
I mean, I can see how this is a big event.
Yeah,
like I can see how it's a huge event. I can also see how this is a massive detriment to both teams for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, there will be a nice little amount of hype train to it.
Sure. But, hey, why not? Why not try it?
I would love to see Sweden, Finland try it when they're over in Europe. When it ever gets over to Europe, because it seems like it's in Canada every other year, plus the US is thrown in there.
Well, because this
like Slovenia.
Ratings, baby. Ratings and money and all that happy stuff. That's why they keep coming back here. If there wasn't a lot of money to be had staging the events here in North America, the IIHF would have them over in Europe a lot more often.
I would love them to come back here, but I don't think after the U18 showing when no one in North Dakota showed up, even though Tyson Jost was there, and he was an incoming freshman. But we got the Ralph. The Ralph is nice. People love the Ralph. Another ting we were going to talk about, just the absurdness of naming rights and the prices there. $800 million over 20 years. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, even in Canadian dollars, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of cash.
Yes. Over 20 years. And of course, it's Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. So why not?
Hey, we got money. We'll take all your money, Scotiabank. Sure.
Sure.
In this case, I don't even blame Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment. Like, basically, they were like, here, we have 2 duffel bags of cash, non-sequential bills you can't trace. You take all of them.
They're different colors,
They're
too.
like,
We changed it up a little.
They're like, just go.
Yeah.
What do you want from
go ahead.
us? Nothing really. We don't really need anything back.
You know, when one of Canada's largest banks approaches you and says, "Shut up and take my money," you do it.
You shut up and you take their money.
You shut up and you take their money. Oh, and by the way, $800 million Canadian is 635 million American. So that's still a lot of scratch. That's a lot of cabbage.
That's the amount of the Powerball was, I believe.
There you go. Well, then Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment won the Powerball.
Indeed.
Canada's version.
You know how awesome it would be to win the Powerball and put your name on a stadium for the next 20 years?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
The John Patanzo War Memorial Stadium. I like it. I like it. I do.
The John Patanzo turf at Boise Stadium.
Yeah, I would definitely pay for the turf at Boise State. Sure. That would be my first. That would be my first investment.
There you go. There you go.
Another pressing ting. Shane Doan, Hall of Famer or not?
Not first ballot, obviously. I do believe, however, he will get in there one day. He will get in there. If for nothing else, you know, then they're going to want to at least have somebody from the Arizona Coyotes in the Hockey Hall of Fame. And listen. I mean, to be fair here, I mean, come on, Shane Doan had a good
there.
Doesn't really count. No, doesn't really count.
Why not?
Because he wasn't there. He was there for a short time, not a long time, my friend. He considers himself more St. Louis than Arizona.
He considers himself a goddamn Rib fan. It doesn't mean like
yeah,
he's not going to go in with.
He's definitely
that was the only thing he missed about moving from Winnipeg down to Arizona was those delicious Tim Hortons donuts.
I was just going to say, like, the fact of the matter is this: he's not going to go in as Team Famous Dave. Like, that's like he's not going to have the Famous Dave jersey on. That would be fantastic.
But no, you know, I think Shane Doan, you know, I think that he's got the numbers that could make him eligible one day for the Hockey Hall of Fame. He's going to have to wait a while, obviously. But when you consider over 400 career goals, almost 1,000 points, it was 972 career points, I believe. Those are pretty damn good numbers for a team that missed the playoffs 12 times in his 21-year career. He only played in 55 playoff games.
Wow.
So he was incredibly loyal to the Arizona Coyotes.
To a fault.
Oh, a lot of people were saying he was crazy to go back to. I mean, you know, it was a few years ago when he was, you know, when he engaged on that summer-long Shane Doan tour when he was an unrestricted free agent the last time. And yeah, he had there was something like, I think, a dozen teams that were interested in signing him before he ultimately decided that he was going to go back to Arizona. This, you know, he's the poster boy for, you know, the players who find themselves in a good city where they're really happy, where their families are happy, and they don't want to leave. You know, we hear over and over, you know, certain player, and I'm sure it was asked of Shane Doan many times, why does he want to stick in Arizona? Why doesn't he want to go to a team where he has a chance to win a Stanley Cup? Blah, 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 blah. It's obvious. He loves Arizona. He loves the Phoenix area. He loves, you know, his family loves living there. They didn't want to move, and they were willing to pay him to keep him there. So, you know.
And I think it's almost better.
Saying he didn't have 1,000 points. Now, I've always been curious. Do they count playoff points in that scenario? Because
No.
I know they don't count. So they don't count any playoff points for
No.
any player stats.
No.
So, which is crazy to me because Wayne Gretzky has an insane amount of points, and they haven't even counted his playoff points.
And they don't even count the WHA points he had.
I know. They don't count those.
Ridiculous.
Exactly. No, I mean, it's supposed to be the Hockey Hall of
Yes.
Fame, not the NHL Hall of Fame, but let's be honest, that's what it is. It's the NHL
By the way,
Hall of Fame.
if you add in Shane Doan's playoffs, he would have played 1,595 games and have exactly 1,000 points.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, he broke it.
I'm gonna give it to him. Hall of Fame.
I'm gonna give it. We're
You know
gonna
what?
round up. I'm gonna give it to
You know
him.
what?
Yeah.
How many goals and assists did he have for the Canadian national team?
That's a good question. I have to find.
He played
would-
for,
he would
he played for the World Championship for Canada World Championship 6 times.
that.
Two of them were
They
gold.
could make the playoffs.
Two were gold. Yeah, 2 were gold medal teams. 2003 and 2007. He played for Canada in the 2004 World Cup of Hockey, where they won gold in that one. And he played for Canada's Olympic team in 2006, the one that finished 7th.
With Canada in the Olympics. He played 1 Olympics.
Yeah.
2 goals and an assist. Played 1 World Cup, a goal and assist. Played 49 games in the World Championship. 13 goals, 20 assists.
Over 1,000 points.
Over 1,000.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So there you go. But you know, yeah, I think someday, yeah, he'll get in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
All right.
But yeah, he's definitely gonna have to wait a while.
He's way down the line for that. All right. Well, the Will Butcher sweepstakes are over, and he made the lateral move of going to New Jersey from Colorado. Why? Is it because New Jersey is not that much of a garbage fire? Is a little better of a garbage fire than Colorado? Because this move does. Same with Kierfoot, Alex Kierfoot going to Colorado from New Jersey. It just seems these are lateral moves.
Well, in the case of Butcher, I don't think so. I think, you know, as bad as Colorado's situation is defensively, you know, New Jersey's is actually a little worse. And let's be honest as well, New Jersey has a let's say a better general manager, a guy who has a winning pedigree in Ray Shero, so maybe that might have factored into it as well. Kerfoot, I don't know, maybe he thinks he'll have a better opportunity in Colorado. That one's a little bit
How?
there you go. You know, but hey, Jared Cowan's going to have an opportunity there, so why not Kerfoot, right?
If Jared Cowan makes the team, I will single-handedly dedicate my season to following the tire fire. That's almost like if Jeff Schultz signed a PTO and made the team. If we can get Schultz and Cowan on a line, 2 big body guys who rarely hit and who have the foot speed of molasses. Like, it's, my God, this team. I'll try to find a job at Mile High Hockey if that happens.
So what you're telling me then is the Canadians offering Eric Jelena a tryout offer is not as bad as Jared Cowan getting one from Colorado. Is that what you're telling me?
They got Carey Price. Like, you can make up for Eric Jelena. Like,
Yeah. I could put 2 cones out, like both of the Hatcher brothers, and it would be fine with Carey Price back there.
Oh, by the way, you just also gave me another idea as to why Butcher went to New Jersey. Corey Schneider.
what about him?
Corey Schneider being the goaltender. You said Carey Price in Montreal being able, if Jelena made the team, he could Carey Price could offset those mistakes he would make. You know, for a young rookie kid who's probably going to be a 3rd pairing defenseman, you know, when you've got a established goaltender like Corey Schneider, who, apart from last season, had better numbers, though, career numbers than Varlamov.
But he's taking that mentorship from Roberto Luongo a little too seriously, playing all the games and seeing all the shots and not getting a Stanley Cup. So,
Yeah.
But were there no other teams better than New Jersey, or was he just like basically guaranteed, like, hey, you're going to play next season because we need you?
It came down to who? It came down to the Devils,
Buffalo.
the Kings, Buffalo,
Golden Knights.
Golden Knights. Was Pittsburgh in it, or they just pitched him? And then...
Pittsburgh had interest, but I think he looked at that and said he wasn't going to be able to crack their roster this year for good reason.
Why not Buffalo though?
That's true.
I know that's a good point.
Like, I feel like Buffalo is more on the path of the bell curve than the Devils are right now.
That's what I agree.
And
with
they
you.
play. I think they play a lot in a lot better division than the Metropolitan Division. Because if this kid's going to get exposed in his rookie season, it's going to be in that division facing against Crosby and Ovechkin and Kuznetsov and Malkin and Couturier, and he'll get his lunch fed to him by Wade Simmons. Like,
Well, again, I think this is because this is where Ray Shero is being a better general manager than the ones that's in Buffalo and the like. Because with Vegas, there's such a logjam in a defenseman there. I mean, I don't realistically see how he was going to be able to crack that. So I can understand why he passed on that. Buffalo, yeah, like Johnny pointed out, I mean, there was a good opportunity there, and they're certainly their progression, I think, is ahead of where New Jersey is. But again, you've got a rookie GM. There's no disrespect to Jason Botterill, but he's a rookie GM going in there. And meanwhile, you got Ray Shero, who's been in the game for 10 years. I just think I think it came down to him doing a better sell job. Whether that
Makes
turns
sense.
into a snow job, we'll find out in a couple of years.
oh, it's. I think it's going to. Come on. Like, let's be honest here.
Well,
I don't know about this team.
guys, we're all so old where we remember when New Jersey's defense used to be their strength. Think about that.
Oh yeah, no, that was the cornerstone.
Oh yeah, 15 years
then-
ago, that's what everybody talked about.
Anaheim and all went to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Once they lost Niedermeyer, it all started going downhill, and then they lost Rafalski. And
Niedermeyer dead.
Rafalski. So,
Rafalski, forgot about Brian Rafalski.
what a different NHL that was when there was a guy that was like 5'5" playing defense, and
There's
he
guys
was
like that now.
He was controlling things.
There's
Yeah.
blue liners like that now because of Brian Rafalski. You're seeing there are defensemen coming up into this league now who are smaller. I know what you're saying, Johnny. I mean, it always seems to be the prototype is they got to be 6'1,000" and 12,000 pounds, and skate like the wind, big like tree and smart like dump truck. As long as they can move the puck well.
That
But
was in Alaska, I think.
Yes, it was. But because of Brian Rafalski, you're seeing more smaller puck moving defensemen coming into the league. Torrey Krug's a perfect example. Torrey Krug's a perfect example of that with
Weinberg's
Boston.
not that big, right? Like
What's that?
he's not. Weinberg's not that big in Columbus.
Weinberg.
Like he's on the smaller side.
Alex
for defense.
Weinberg, Benberg. Is he a defenseman, Johnny? I guess is the question.
I think I know who you're talking about, but
I thought
Weinberg.
so.
Is it
He was a
Weinberg?
rookie, right? Last year.
Yeah, but when Weinberg. His name wasn't Weinberg, not God.
He's also-
Weinrich.
Yeah, no, Weinberg. Johnny, you're right. He's a center though. So and he's 6'1".
He's
who are your
6'1".
third-
Jesus
He's
Christ.
got to be the third man back.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
Hold on.
Hang
Jeez.
on. Wawrinski. Zach Wawrinski.
It started with
That's
a W. I was close enough.
Yes,
And
no, I
he's
knew you were
he's 6'2".
Yeah. So he's not a small guy.
Wow.
No, Torrey Krug. Now, Torrey Krug.
That's a small guy. He's like what,
Yeah.
5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, exactly. But puck moving defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
Along the same model as Rafalski. Sort
I
of.
do love how like 6 foot is like small though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's 5'9". He's a small defenseman.
Yeah. So yeah. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We've all waited for this. Johnny, you've waited for it as much as I have.
Ooh.
It's
Did Jaromir
been
Jagr get
announced.
signed by the Capitals?
Close. It has been announced that this is a dream we've all had. The Capitals have gotten a new player, and it's a player they know very well. Well, some Capitals. One Capital knows very well. The Capitals he's playing for does not. Dmitry Kristich is back, and he will be playing for the Edinburgh Capitals this season.
Yay!
So good.
He is the head. He's going to Reg Dunlop this thing. He is the head coach, and he said he will be playing the first game, or will be playing sometime. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, kids. Beachy Christmas is back.
How many times
anyway.
is this that he's been on the Capitals? Like, I'm guessing 14.
I think this
at
is
least.
6. Yeah, 6 or 7 times. All right, back to this college thing. Did you see Brandon Dubinsky's comments on this, Lyle?
Oh yes, he's not happy.
Brandon Dubinsky, not a fan of this. He says the college free agency situation in the NHL needs to be figured out. It's a joke, especially to the guys that play major juniors. I bet teams that make the draft pick would agree with me as well. He clarifies, saying, I want players to have all the options they can when they sign a contract, and major junior players can't. And it's not fair. That's it. And it's true, because
It is.
the college players have the ability to opt out for the teams they draft for.
Yep.
And not have to re-enter the draft because they're far too old by that time.
Yep.
Do we think that it's the next set of CBAs this is going to be addressed? Or will they break into the CBA now to try to do it? Will they modify it then?
No. This is something that'll wait until the next round of collective bargaining. But yeah, I can definitely see, and that'll be the PA pushing for that. I don't see that being the NHL. I don't think the league really has a problem with it. I just think, well, okay, well, let me correct that. I think some of the teams like Nashville and Colorado, New Jersey, who've lost players, that way. I think they'll probably have something to say, but by and large, I think that's going to be a secondary issue for them. I think this is something that that we'll see more noise from the PA about this, because I think you got some players that are going, wait a minute, I came up through juniors, I was drafted, I had to stick with this team, blah 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 blah, and these guys in college, I mean, they do their 4 years of college, and when they're done, they go, oh, okay, well. No, I don't want to sign with a team that drafted me now. I want to be an unrestricted free agent and go sign where I want to sign. Even though they're not making any extra money out of it, they're just getting the opportunity to pick where they want to begin their NHL careers.
Can major junior players not do that though, too?
Well, they can refuse to sign their contract with the team, and if they don't,
they got a 2-year grace period, and then they have to re-enter the draft if they're under the age.
Exactly. If they're under the age and they're unsigned, then they go back into the draft. But you see very few Quebec major junior, for that matter, any major junior players doing that, because quite frankly, hockey players as a whole usually do as they're told and do what the normal rule is, and there's very much a herd mentality there, and so consequently, look, I mean, for most cases, most of these players, they're just thrilled to be drafted. So yes, I'll sign wherever you want me to sign, but it's very rare you're going to see anybody go, no, I'm not going to sign with the team that drafted me and go back in the draft, because they don't want to get a reputation. You get a bad reputation then as being difficult to work with. It's like, okay, is this kid going to be a problem child? We sign him. He goes on to be a star, and where is he going to start being difficult in contract talks? So you don't want to get that reputation early on. So while the major junior players have that option, very, very few. We rarely hear of anybody of any note doing it. We've had meanwhile in college hockey, you've had the last 2 Hobey Baker Award winners opt to test free agency. So, yeah. But and again, I mean,
I also think that these guys. Sorry to cut you off, Lau.
No,
but I think these guys are later round draft picks. It's not as if a kid like Tyson Jost or Brock Besser, 2 guys who left UND. Brock Besser didn't even make the flight. He took a flight to Minnesota after they lost in Fargo.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's not like these kids are high round picks. Now, if someone like Besser did that, if he played all 4 years at UND and said, nah, I'm not going to sign with the Canucks, then we start to be, okay, sure, now this is a problem.
Well, and the other thing, too, is if these kids go back into the draft, right, who's to say they're going to get picked by an even worse team? Right? Yeah. And again, I'm not trying to pick on the Coyotes, but we'll just say, let's say you got a kid who's from the Coyotes, right?
Look, listen, you call a spade a spade.
Yeah. He decides, I'm not gonna sign this team. 2 years later, he goes back into the draft, and I don't know, let's say Florida signs him, into the fire. So there's always that risk that you could end up being, being drafted then by a team that you like. Oh no, didn't really want to go there.
But at the same time, the situation in the front office could be different too. So
Sure. You don't know the whole story all the time.
Don't you also have to leave World Junior or World Juniors? Don't you have to leave Canadian Juniors while you're still in the like age range to be drafted again? Like, isn't 20 like the high end of that?
20, but
is the high end.
a lot of kids turn 21 on their 20-year-old season.
Yeah.
And then they can't go back into the draft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like what if Canadian Juniors added an extra year for lack of an easier way to like create this?
First off,
then they would literally be in the same boat that the NCAA is in.
That probably wouldn't be the worst idea either for
really
a lot of these kids in terms of development.
Yeah, I'm personally I'm all for pushing that draft age up to 19. If actually I'd prefer to see it at 20.
20,
yeah, because then the kids are a lot more mature physically by that point and mentally too. 18. I know we get the generational kids like McDavid and Crosby and Ovechkin all the way back to Bobby Orr. Yeah, I know, I get it, but
Ovechkin came into the league at 22, so let's not act like Ovechkin was he was 20 when he started. So
but he was drafted before that though. Remember that we had the lockout year. One for the lockout year, he would have been skating for Washington in.
He was drafted. He was drafted a year before that too, because Mike Keenan, in infant wisdom, thought it was going to be because he tried to do the whole, but it's leap years.
Yeah.
I would love.
I miss him.
I would love to talk to Keenan and just get a lowdown on that situation. Like how?
Well, hey, remember he's the one who traded Luongo from Florida to Vancouver. So
does he have a book out? Because he should. Because that would be a fantastic read.
He and Mike Milbury have to sit down and write a book of how the world's worst management decisions, or how to fail in NHL general management.
But at least Keenan's got a cup at least.
Yeah, well, but he was a coach then. He wasn't a general manager. He didn't have any say in that. He didn't have any say. Well,
was Neil Smith was the
guy. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't be so quick to say, Keenan didn't have any real say. I mean, he went to Neil Smith and said, basically, get me all the former Edmonton Oilers that you can get. Then Neil went, okay, but and hey, it worked. But
I would love to have. They should just name it "Why We Dealt Roberto Luongo," and other sorts tales from GM.
Exactly, because they both did it. Yeah,
they both did it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with with who was the
are they ghostwriting for each other?
Who was the Canucks GM before Jim Benning?
It was Mike Gillis.
Thank you. With a forward by Mike Gillis, who also traded Roberto Luongo.
Also with a forward from Brett Hall, who's GM for like 16 games.
16 games
for Dallas.
It convinced Dallas to sign Sean Avery. Oh, that's good. I almost said Steve Avery. It's like, he probably would have done better. They would have had a better basketball.
A lot
Sean
better
Avery
ERA.
gave us one of the best bits we had on this show ever when we had him through re-entry waivers on all 30 teams.
That was a great bit. That is a great bit.
Yeah. The one time when re-entry waivers actually,
meant something.
Yeah, it's interesting.
God, that was great. Anyway, I would love
re-entry waivers, and nobody took them.
They could actually add cardboard cutout Greg Sherman right in front. And you could get a little piece to each.
I was gonna say, Greg, you get a mini cardboard cutout GM Greg Sherman in each book. It's also a bookmark.
Well, you don't have to be condescending about it.
That's good.
I'm right here.
Yeah, it's a bookmark.
Oh,
I heard you say
when'd you get here?
Thanks for joining the show, Mark.
I'm here. I lurk.
I know.
Here's a question.
Okay.
For the room.
Yes.
Does Jaromir Jagr swallow his pride and sign a PTO somewhere? Lyle, we'll start with you.
No, I want you to start with Mark.
Mark,
I'm
start
gonna
with you.
say no. Everybody knows what Yager is. He doesn't need to try out for anybody. I mean, if he gets invited to a PTO, he'll probably decline and just wait for somebody to get hurt, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, we need Jaromir Yager now," and then sign a contract.
John.
I say yes.
Oh,
I say someone's gonna take a flyer on this. Someone's gonna take the chance and be
Already did
like,
that.
he's already
did
played there though.
"Oh,
Ouch.
damn! I didn't. He played there, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Played Billy?
yeah. He
How
played-
many Metropolitan teams has he not played for yet? I feel like he's going for a collection.
We
at
did
this
this
point.
already.
Okay,
I think
Carolina,
only two.
Carolina and Columbus.
Yeah.
he
Okay,
did play
well,
for
if
the
I'm one of those teams, I send him a PTO contract now.
Which has the lowest taxes.
Make it happen. What's the worst thing that happens is he says no. Oh, well, you didn't lose anything. I mean, even if he shows up, you don't lose anything.
True. That's true.
I say go for it.
Lau, we're to you.
Listen, it's obvious he's holding out to get a contract, but I got to think, if somebody offered him a PTO and he didn't have a contract offer before training camp, I think he'd swallow his pride and go for it. I think
All
he
his
would.
pride, he would choke on the line, but a lack thereof, leave him
Yeah.
empty inside.
Yeah.
Swallow his doubt, turn him inside out. Find nothing but faith in nothing. You want to put his tender heart in a blender?
Nothing but
Watch it spin around to a beautiful oblivion. Rendezvous, and he's
Uh-oh.
through with
I'm to our listeners. I apologize. We've lost Scotty. He disappeared down a.
I went down an Eve 6 wormhole.
Thank you. I was trying to remember the name of that group. It was Eve 6
Rendezvous.
wormhole, and yeah, he does that from time to time. It's okay.
That was
Every-
saved tonight.
What? No, that was Eagle Eye
That's Eagle Eye
Cherry.
Yeah, I remembered that one.
Jeez, John. Get it right.
Sorry.
It's Here's to the Night.
My fault.
Save
Save-
Tonight was a
God.
great song.
How did
Yeah.
Tonight was
why
Was it
did all of those
Fastball?
90
No.
bands? How did they all get away with having titles that were literally the same?
First off, here's Save Tonight was Eagle Eye Cherry. The Way was Fastball.
Yes. the
Also,
way.
out of my head was Fastball as well.
What about 16 Stories?
I don't know what was 16 Stories.
What if I fell? I don't know. 50. I guess it's 15
ahead.
stories. Was it
Out of My
16
Head was
stories?
also a song title for the Canadian group Junk House as well. See, yeah, they all used the same titles back in the 90s.
How many creeps are there? It's TLC's Creep. It's Radiohead's Creep. Stone Temple
Stone Temple
Pilots had a song
Pilots,
called
Creep.
Creep.
Yep. There was
TLC.
4 or 5 Creep. Yeah, you said
Yeah, I
that.
said
yeah.
I said
There's 4 or
Mighty
5.
Joe Plum. Mighty Joe Plum was What If I Fell 15 Stories.
I don't even think I've ever heard that song.
What if I fell 15 stories? What if my
Was that
weight
right
never
after
heard
you
that?
were lonely at 3 a.m.?
Wasn't enough to kill me. You never heard that song?
It sounds familiar.
I do remember that song. I'll bail you out on this one. I
No,
remember
I
that
know,
song,
I
but I
honestly
feel like that's a combination of like being lonely at 3 a.m. and being Superman.
Yeah, it does kind of have the
At
vibe
3
of
a.m. was Matchbox 20.
Yes,
Yeah.
Matchbox 20.
I
and
understand that,
Dave
but
Matthews
they
was
were-
Superman, so
No, Superman was
They were
was
15.
who was Superman? That was the Our Lady
No.
Peace.
no.
Yeah, why?
They were
I...
15.
Johnny, go ahead.
Wow.
Okay, now we're gonna
No, I
argue
was
about
gonna say there were
90s tunes.
bands in the 90s that literally sound exactly the same. So you could like
Oh, yeah.
you could say
Yeah.
any of them and we'd be like, yep, you got it.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely familiar.
You have to turn it off. You can't play anymore.
Yep, that's it. 10 seconds. That's all you get.
Wow,
Yeah.
you could have got this to a hook or something.
I'll take 10 more seconds. It just
You're
can't
back.
be non-consecutive. It has to be non-consecutive.
So you have to talk for 10 seconds somehow, some
We
way.
we have to talk about it first.
Okay. Jibber jabber jabber jibber. Jabber jibber jab. Are you done yet? You ready?
I say Yager goes ahead and signs a PTO, by the way. Close that out.
Okay. Yeah. But you're right. Yeah, I have heard that jam before. But Johnny's right. There was
That-
so many bands that
That
sound
could have
the
been the
same.
better part of 10 bands in the 90s.
That-
like,
exactly.
You could go Lifehouse. You could go
Yes.
like there were
Matchbox
so
20.
many bands
Matchbox
that
20.
sounded like that.
3 Doors Down.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
which is why
God.
you've never heard of Mighty Joe Plum, because you just
No.
Because
attribute
they
all these songs to one band.
It's like
one
a cover
band that
band.
just changed their names. That's all. They just they were the same band. They just changed their name on every album.
It's Whiteford Bronco is what they're called. That's the '90s cover band.
Well,
Actually,
it's no crack.
that would have stuck.
Crack
That would have
review.
stuck.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have stuck, and they would have their lead singer would be Al Cowlings.
Then there's Flagpole Sitta.
Oh, Harvey Danger.
Harvey
Give a little
Danger.
Harvey Danger in there.
Yeah, Harvey Danger's a little.
Harvey
It sounds a little
Danger's
15-story Mighty Joe Plumish.
No.
I mean,
No.
we're almost breaking into
No.
Jimmy Eats World at this point.
Oh my god.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny, you know why?
Wow.
It just takes some time.
You have Jimmy Eats World. You have Better Than Ezra. Like the entire, like
Hey, no one was better than Ezra.
Who did it?
that's true. I mean, what about Toad the Wet Sprocket?
But we're
Yes,
all
that was my favorite. If for nothing else, because they stole a Monty Python band name. So.
nobody's better than Ezra, but everyone's less than Jake. So
Yes. Who did it better though? Was it Jimmy Eat World or Jimmy's Chicken Shack?
Jimmy Eat World. I didn't like Jimmy's Chicken Shack whatsoever. It's like
Well,
you tried too hard to be Southern Anne Arundel County. Stop.
If you lived anywhere outside of the Baltimore, Washington area, you don't know who Jimmy's Chicken Shack is.
Oh, hi. Yeah, they I think they headlined HF Festival for 12 straight years.
Yes.
No, they headlined the side
And then
stage.
Kelly Bell Band played right before them.
Oh, Jimmy's Chicken Shack. What would I do? Hi.
Silver Chair, also.
Silverchair was cut short because their lead singer had to deal with anorexia and other mental health issues.
Mm.
They were the Prodigies, not the fire starters, but they were the
Also an HFS
Fire
headliner,
Starters.
by the way. I was at that show.
Twisted
Yeah.
Fire Starters. Mm.
How did we get here?
I don't know. I went down
I
to
feel like we fell 15 stories.
Hey, bring it all around.
We started on a very high, and we
Yeah.
literally just fell 15 stories.
Yeah.
we how it got there is I went down an E6 wormhole and then
We just went in this deep dive into now obscure 90s bands with unusual
I mean,
names.
it's not like we're a Deep Blue Nothing or Deep Blue something.
something. We are no
Deep Blue Nothing would have been the better
we are
name
no,
for that
we are
band.
we are no Dishwalla. You're not wrong in that. We are not counting
True.
blue cars.
I don't want you to fall another 15 stories, though. Please.
By the way,
stop.
I always get Collective Soul, Soul Asylum, Panda Box, and the Goo Goo Dolls mixed up when they play. It's
And
really
Collective
You get
Soul.
the, you get the
And
Goo Goo
throw
Dolls.
Collective
mixed up
Soul
with-
in there.
okay, I can understand
Yeah.
the first three, but Goo Goo Dolls, you
it's just
Do
the
you-
name. I
Do you
think.
know how many
Okay.
songs Creed sung that I thought other bands sung?
Oh, do
you
not
thought it
mention
was Pearl
that
Jam?
band's name in my presence. Jesus.
You thought it was Eddie Vedder's solo project?
Oh, oh God. Initially, I did at first. It's like, geez, that sounds like Eddie Vedder.
What was Jacob Dylan's band? Because I used to get them
Oh,
confused all the time with Goo Goo Dolls.
Wallflowers. The Wallflowers.
The Wallflowers and the Goo Goo Dolls,
Yeah, now those they sounded kind of similar. Yeah.
just like Third Eye Blind and Matchbox 20.
Ooh, no. How?
Do, 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 do.
Sure, like it was.
It's
It
the
was
number. It's the
Mario.
number in their name.
Oh, it was.
Mm.
Then Three Doors Down really screwed you, huh?
Ah, it's the
What about 311?
worst.
What about UB?
311 had their own vibe. I feel
What
like
about-
311 was like the only band in the 90s that was like, you know what, we're going to do our own shit. No Doubt also did their own stuff too, though.
Yeah.
Until like Real Big Fish and Sublime and say Ferris and
Yeah.
that
It was
whole
like
thing
one
started
one
that
band
group.
come up and started to do something, and then everybody else just copied it right away.
Informal poll 90s most diversity of music, would you say?
I go with the 70s because I grew up in the 70s, so I
Okay.
go with the 70s.
So
guy.
you would
But
say
I
the
would
70s
say
was pretty diverse.
I would say the
Yeah.
90s would be a
was close.
second. Would be second.
Yeah.
But the 70s, yeah, you had a lot of stuff mashed up in there.
I mean,
I was
that's
just-
when that twangy country was coming out too, not
Yeah.
to mention the disco and all of that other stuff.
Yep. And you had soul beginning in the early
Oh, a little
70s.
at
Plus
the end
you
of Motown.
Yeah, you had the
And-
emergence. You had the full emergence of soul music,
And the
led
tail
by
end of
the
the
great James
Beatles.
Brown. The end of the Beatles, which then merged into David Bowie and Elton John. So you had glam rock come out for a while, then prog rock, and yeah, and then punk came out at the start in the late '70s as well.
Yeah.
It was great though, because it was like
There's
every
also
year
a lot
there
of
was
blues
like
at that time as well.
true. And you had some the country started going more mainstream back then, but it was still good. It was still good, especially that was when you really saw like Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings really emerge back then.
Well, George Jones action too.
Yeah. Well, George had been famous in the '60s, but yeah, he really brought a lot more of his personal life to the fore in the '70s, and yeah, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That was your music history on Face Off Hockey Show, ladies and gentlemen. Join us next week. We'll be talking about the 80s and what the fuck happened there.
Oh, boy, howdy. Somewhere around 85, we took a wrong turn. Big time wrong turn. Oof.
And then we'll talk to you about New Wave and how you can actually drown. Speaking of drowning, Thomas Vanek drowning on the market. I forgot he was still a thing. I thought he'd already signed a 1-year deal somewhere else.
No, but his interest is heating up on him. I think you're confusing with Drew Stafford. He and Drew Stafford were linked a week ago in the rumor mill, and then Stafford got a 1-year deal for $800,000 with Jersey. Woo.
First off, I never thought about Drew Stafford until I go into the Sioux shop and I see they have his jersey. I'm like, oh, that's right, Stafford played here. He's still in the game. Good for him.
Good for him. Good for him. But Vanek, apparently there's interest is picking up in the Vancouver Canucks. He's been linked with them. So there's a possibility, but he's still keeping them lines of communication open with Detroit. He enjoyed playing there. They would definitely like to bring him back, but they've got some cap issues to resolve. So if they don't get him sorted out, I think within the next 2 weeks for the start of training camp, I think the Wings could lose out on Vanek. But yeah, he's still out there, and there's still some teams they're willing to kick the tires on him. Apparently, he's looking for a 2-year deal. I think he's going to be very happy with the 1-year one he's going to get.
Yeah, he's going to be happy with any deal at this point.
At this point, yeah. Yep.
Pasternak, David Pasternak offered a long-term deal, reportedly worth a $6 million average range. Nothing yet. What is this? Can we expect this drama to go right into training camp, you think?
I think the Bruins want obviously hope to avoid that. It's brinksmanship here for the next couple of weeks with training camp looming. This one could end up being a short-term deal where he gets let's say 5.5 mil to 6 mil per season on maybe a 2 to 3 year deal, probably over 2, and then goes to cash in big afterwards. I think Bruins GM Don Sweeney probably really has a hate on right now for the man he replaced, Peter Chiarelli, because if it wasn't for that Leon Draisaitl contract, I think you'd see Pasternak under contract for 6 years and probably like 6 mil and just a little bit of change per season. But the Draisaitl contract kind of blew that right out of the water. So yeah, if they can't get a long-term thing hashed out, maybe we'd be looking at a 2-year deal with the likelihood that he's going to get much more after that. So that's the danger of it, isn't it? I mean, I can understand it from the Bruins' point of view, from Sweeney's point of view. On the one hand, the kid really has had just one good season. I mean, he was injured the season before, so you can't really fault him for that, but he's just had that one good season. Mind you, it was a hell of a season, but he's just had the one. I mean, can you really go out and justify investing big money? Well, apparently they're willing to invest 6 years in between 6 or 7 years at $6 million a pop, but he wants more. So do you really want to give him up to $7 million per season on just a 1-year deal? Or on just based on one good season. Say what you will about Draisaitl, but he did string 2 good years together. He had a good, I'd hate really call it a rookie year, but he had sophomore year of 51 points, something like over 50 points, and then just totally took off this past season. So you can kind of understand the justification there for Chiarelli to sign the deal that he did with Draisaitl, but it automatically becomes a comparable for the Pasternak camp, and that just creates a difficulty now for the Bruins to be able to get this kid under the deal they wanted. So might have to go to a bridge one.
Yep.
Go to the bridge. Can I go to the bridge? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ding, 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 ding. Get up, yeah. Get on them.
Get up, Jack.
Get on up.
Get on the thing.
Get on up.
Got a sex machine now.
There's going to be people in like 15 years that watch this show and be like, all of these people are schizophrenic.
No, just Scotty.
Hold on.
Uh-oh. Ah!
Do you have Zubaz on?
Yes, he does.
I do.
That's why I went, ah!
Jimmy Chunky
Unless
Butter.
you're wearing pants.
Roster Ricky. These are underwear. Al Semin of Al Semin Motors.
Yes.
Mel Bjorn. Barney Mora. Baltimore guy / Dundalk hooker. Sil Bosby. Jimmy Chunky
I like
Brother.
how Baltimore guy goes in the Dundalk hooker. Like it's like an interchangeable voice that you
Is
have.
angry? Tell me, angry gym manager's there or angry gym teacher? Sorry, gym.
No, but crazy KPD is. Remember him? Crazy Kevin Paul DuPont.
Right,
He was
right,
the
right.
Black Walmart. I don't know what that is. That seems vaguely.
What? That must have been one of the other
we shouldn't
personalities
bring
that wrote in the book. Yeah.
That was definitely brought up in the non-politically correct days of the show.
So every day of the show.
Yeah, little Big Stan definitely wrote that in your book.
Yeah. Roman Hammerlick from Prague, Indiana, who is British. Terry Sweetums. I don't even know that character.
Oh,
I'm Terry Sweetums.
That's probably right. The Angry Tailors with Vile.
yes,
And Lay Huggy Bear. I don't know what that was.
Huggy Bear.
I also have Johnny's albums here too.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
let's
albums are the
hear 'em.
best.
Rattle them off. Rattle them off.
All
Rattle them
right,
off.
so I gotta find the first album. Hold on.
Johnny, you have had a prolific career, sir. A
So-
prolific music
I've had a
career
prolific career.
across
Like
all-
I'm basically Milli Vanilli at this
Johnny,
point because I can't sing
across-
for shit, but I've had
across
multiple.
Yes, multiple out across all genres. You, sir, are a full Renaissance man in the music.
Johnny has
Yeah, I'm basically the Taylor Swift of this show.
world. Yes, yes.
Johnny has 3 full albums and an EP, as well as a side project that turned into a hockey history podcast. So his first CD has "Hey, It's Okay, My Tractor's Not Gay."
That's true.
My-
That's true. That's
my-
it.
my-
Good song.
My wife is my dog's brother.
That is so. That's a 70s country song right there. That's got
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Johnny. Well done.
Don't be racist.
Well, it goes without saying.
Edmonton to
Hold on,
Evergreen.
didn't that come out right around the same time that Kenny Chesney did the song with
Yes.
LL Cool J that was like talking about racism?
Yeah,
it
and
was.
he basically said
It
the
was
song
basically,
called "Don't Be
Don't be
Racist."
racist. Edmonton to Evergreen State. Getting my DX stained. A bonus track called "Another Ranting Night," and of course the title track from Left to Right on your radio dial.
Yes,
That was album
a
one.
classic.
That's a great album name.
It is.
The second,
is.
the second album's called "Hoagie and Trains." You got to control your rebounds. I think that's a dating one.
Yep.
Screen door on the bottom of a boat.
That's a country one.
There would have been a hockey
That
game.
might have been a shout out to what's the shit that you
Polish.
can like spray and like
This is
and it,
Bradford's
like-
territory.
go ahead.
Here we go. So another one's there would have been a hockey game, and in parentheses, if I didn't have to go to Indiana.
Flex Seal, by the way. Flex Seal was what you were thinking.
Yes.
Flex
Yes.
Seal, that's what I was looking
Flex
for.
Seal.
Negative Panda.
That's deep.
Rocky Spring and Cool. Black Dusty Roads.
How can you tell the difference?
White upbeat music. I wish I was 18 again in this fucking Quaker town.
That's a rap number. That's a rap number.
Shout out to my guitar.
This must.
And then
my pop album, wasn't it?
and of course to end it all out, the Stan Wong theme song.
Yes. Stan Wong theme song's fantastic.
His third album called A Decade of Ineptitude.
You stole. That's one of my lines, isn't it? You stole that from me.
Not even joking. The names of these albums are fantastic. Like how someone hasn't stolen this from our show yet.
I love that third one. The name of that, A Decade of Ineptitude. Like that's a greatest hits package right there.
Yeah,
that's basically Eve 6 at this point.
I know, right? Like God, they're fantastic.
Holding on for dear life to this hair. What about the internet? 3 people are too much.
That's a love song.
It's so true.
Tonight would be a good night for a bow tie.
I don't even know where that came from. Struck me really funny.
Jockeying for Eyeballs featuring Mark.
That's good.
And of course, nine by my bedside, shotgun by the doorway.
Did I even be
and he dropped a single on us. It's from his upcoming album, Scarves and Booze.
Scars and booze?
Scarves, like what you
scarves
and booze.
Oh, okay.
There's just one song to it, but he dropped it like it's hot. It's called "Thinking About Life" or "Where I Parked My Car," featuring Todd Butts. And then, of course, his side band, which he wheeled off to me to the name, the Tommy Soderstrom Bubble, which turned into a podcast because I stole it. It was a punk album. Circle Jerk of Misery is a song.
That's true. I remember that one completely. Basically by Chris Gaines' album.
Yeah. Under the Bed and Hitting Your Face. Left Hand Never Right.
That's also deep.
Yeah.
And to close
keep going.
And to close it out, Disappointment with Better Audio. And there you go. Those are the.
That's a power ballad.
Those are great song titles, my friend, and great album titles too. God Almighty.
That's for damn sure. One of the two.
Oh, wow. Oh man. For nothing.
I think we should. What if we just put out the album names and never actually put anything
We just
on
do
the
the
CD?
album names and we do put out the album art and then never put out the music.
Put out the music, yeah. It's like, but look at the great album cover. Look at the name. Look at the name of the album and the great song titles.
I could put out a box set at this point. I mean, A Decade of Ineptitude is fantastic.
What a great CD. That's what you call your greatest hits.
Exactly. The name of the box set should be The Decade of Ineptitude.
A Decade of Ineptitude, yes. Containing all the greatest hits, including my personal favorite, Tonight is a Good Night for a Bow Tie.
Tonight's a good night for a bow tie.
That really hit loud good.
Oh, that hit me right in the funny bone square, my friend. Oh, well done.
That landed hard.
Yeah. Oh, man. Whew. Man, Mayweather's got nothing on that. Whew.
Right?
Wow. Oh, man. Thank you, guys. Best laugh I've had in 2 days. Thank you.
I can't believe I've been able to keep all this old because this paper's like yellow. The paper of my
which is
yellow
as well that you have all of this because like all of my song titles are just off the cuff thoughts, and it's basically talking to somebody who's like, "Hey, Scotty, could you write this down?" And I'm like, "How you have all this is so amazing to me."
Here's the funny thing: this all happens to the show. Like this happens during the show.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah, I don't think there are things like that outside of the show. The show is my artistic genius. That's where it comes from.
It's your Uber. Yeah. Your artistic.
What you got me?
No, it's his Lyft. He doesn't use Uber.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was good.
That was good.
That was really good. Our audience might not think so, but I don't give a shit. I enjoyed that.
No, that was good. That was just for us, guys.
See,
That was.
See, that one single line right there should definitely be like the title track to a Decade of Ineptitude. It's our audience might not give a shit, but I don't care.
That's mine, but yeah, you feel free, use that, put that down. Put that down. That's a song that Johnny and I co-wrote right there.
That's going to be my first single off of Decade of Ineptitude.
There we go. As long as I get songwriting credit for that one, I'm happy.
Yeah, definitely. You guys will get copyright at least.
Woo, man.
Royalties.
One of those delicious Maryland IPAs.
That is like 15 years of song titles that we put together.
That is. That
And
is.
no music of which to
No
speak.
music at all. None. But
Oh, I love it.
as concepts, it's fantastic.
That's the best part of the bit,
Yeah.
is that there's no payoff.
Sure there is. We
part
get
of
to
any-
giggle our asses. We get to giggle our asses off over it. That's the payoff.
Oh, man. Wow, we're heading to September. We're finally done August. We're that much closer to training camp starting.
Thank God. Oh,
right?
what a
Don't you
month.
dare miss it.
Oh, well, at least business is going to start picking up in the next 2 weeks anyway.
All right. So, at what point does it get annoying that the Vegas Golden Knights do? This was our first blank. At what point during the year does that become annoying?
Oh, it already has.
Okay,
You know?
well then.
It already has. It's like, your first whatevers. Why don't you just save that for your 10th anniversary and you can throw that up for trivia?
Sure.
Right now, nobody cares.
I surely don't.
Come up with a better idea. Come on. Come up with a better idea.
By
But
the way,
it-
I did get my hockey news. I bought the hockey news season preview, so that's how you know hockey season is just around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fantasy hockey on the Face Off Hockey Show is underway. Give me a song from Johnny P's album, and then we will let you into the Face Off Hockey Show Hockey League. And I'll put that as a question. Name if you want in the Hockey League. We'll put it on Twitter and Facebook. Be great times for all.
Yep.
Exactly. Any parting shots there, Lyle?
No, other than I'm glad for hockey in terms of hockey news and happenings. I'm glad that August is almost over. I'm sad to see the month go because that means summer is almost done. But training camps in 2 weeks' time. Now we're going to start to see some news picking up. See some more signings. Who knows? Maybe even a trade or two, and then we can start getting a look at our teams going forward and seeing what our rosters are going to start to shake out to be. So. Yeah, September always a good month for hockey news. August, not so much.
I will say this. If nothing else, August gave us that great NHL alternate history on Puck Daddy.
It did. That was some interesting stuff on there. Definitely.
I think the Caps one missed the ball completely. Like they missed the plot.
I didn't even see what the Caps one was.
What was the Caps one?
The Caps one was talking about like what if the Caps didn't hire Dale Hunter and
Oh, that's right, Adam Oates.
Ooh,
Adam
yeah.
Oates. Yes, the two in between coaches.
What would have been the better one? There's
But the
for you
layup
guys-
one is what if the Caps weren't able to draft Alex Ovechkin because
What
the
if the
Caps were the
Caps had
third
traded
lowest
Alex
team that
Ovechkin?
year.
Mm.
Had they not won the ladder, what if the Caps traded Alex Ovechkin for a healthy Barrett Jackman?
Well, I think a better one would have been what if they hadn't signed a Jaromir Jagr.
Or traded for Jaromir Jagr, yeah.
No, yeah.
Well,
See, I
my
don't think that hindered the Capitals' like development at all, though. Like I don't think that like destroyed everything.
Well, don't you think though
There's a
that
massive
but don't you
difference if the Caps end up with Malkin and not Ovechkin.
But don't you think? Yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't you think though, if the Jagr experiment, if they hadn't traded for Jagr and it maybe gone in a different direction, perhaps they might not have done as poorly as they wound up doing that put them in that position to be able to draft Ovechkin.
Would that money been better allotted elsewhere to
Yes.
other
What
people to make
Really
those-
give up for Yager.
Yeah.
Actually, they didn't give up a lot.
They didn't give out much except for money.
But it was a lot of money, and they kind of put all their eggs in one basket there, expecting him to be kind of like, you know, he's the guy who's going to take us to the promised land, and he did.
I don't think that they had a plan after they made it to the '98 Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the one they made it to, right?
Yeah.
the '98 one. But you know, but
Yeah.
Kolzig wasn't
I
it
don't
2000?
think they had a
Kolzig won the
plan after
Vezina.
they made it to that Cup final, and as soon as they made it to that Cup final, they were like, "Oh shit, people care again."
Yeah.
And I think that's what actually hurt the Capitals was making it to that Cup final.
I would have said the two ones that I would have went with where he won 2000 won the Vezina.
Yeah.
What if Esatikinen scores in an open net?
I saw that one. Yeah,
that's good.
And also, what if they had moved in the 80s? What if the push to keep the Capitals in DC hadn't worked? Because there was a big groundswell. This team could have been moving in the early 80s. Like, what could have that, where could they have gone to? Because this was during the time where Kansas City and Colorado moved with 4 years, 2 moves.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And, by the same token with that early 80s stuff, I mean, maybe that's what was tied to the whole, to their, what was the trade they made with Montreal back in '82 for Rod
The
Langway.
Langway trade.
Yeah. How much, like what if they had done that?
And what if David Poile had stayed in Atlanta?
There's an,
because he was a vice president of the Flames before taking the job with the Capitals.
See,
Right.
I
He doesn't go to
fully
the
appreciate
Capitals.
all of that. I appreciate everything that you're talking about right now. There are 0 Capitals fans that understand anything that you're talking about.
Well, no, because they come in the world of George McKinnon.
It has to be more
Sure.
recent for them.
So you got to keep it recent. And I think the one that you said, Johnny, about what if they had taken Malkin instead of Ovechkin?
What if they had
what if they had traded that pick?
What if they had kept Varlamov over Neuver? That's another one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if they never traded for Cristobal away?
Oh. I feel like there were so many other directions to go than where they went. And
You're absolutely right.
And part of this could be my bias against Japers Rank, just because I hate those fuckers.
Wow.
But I feel like there's they went with this pompous route of look how great I am, where they could have gone with so many other routes that actually made sense.
Maybe it's because I ruined it last year with my August writings that they're just like, well, we got to go back to SB Nation. We can't have Scotty Waz coming this hard all the time. It's gonna hurt our face. Sex joke. Yep. So
tonight's a good night for a bow tie.
Ladies.
You're gonna love the night that I show up on the show with a bow tie.
Oh, yeah.
Be able to talk for half
Oh,
an hour.
I am going to
it's
be
gonna be so
speechless for
fucking
the first
great.
5
I'm not
minutes.
even gonna bring it on until you show up.
We're gonna
like,
sit back.
You're
and let
gonna
the
think that
laughs
as
roll
soon
in.
as you show up, I'm going for shit, and I'm not. I'm actually putting on the bow tie.
Here's
And
another,
I'll have forgotten all about it. So
here's another one, gentlemen.
Because I slow play a lot of shit.
You
Yes,
I'm smart
you
like
do.
that.
What if the Caps kept Byron Defoe over Ole Kolzig?
Ooh,
That is actually
That's
that
a
one
good
is massive.
that
That would have been a really good one.
that would have been a
Yes, I
big
agree
game
with that
changer there.
completely. Because
Yep.
that completely changes the organization.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
Guess what Scotty Waz is writing tonight?
Give her. Do it. Post the alternate history.
The alternate history.
The alternate hit. The
That one's
the
actually
alt
that one is
history.
the really good one out of the entire mix.
Because that not
I
only
thought
does
the
that,
Ovechkin Malkin thing was good because I don't think that Washington can sell Malkin as well
And
as
I
they
think
can
it's also
as they
because-
sold Ovechkin.
Yeah.
look how long it took to get Malkin over too.
Yeah. Well, personality is different. I mean, Ovi was much more outgoing
Right.
and demonstrative.
Sure.
Where I mean, not saying Malkin isn't, but it took him a
Malkin's
while.
very low
But
key hilarious.
it took him a little longer to come out of his shell in his first couple of years.
Yes.
And Washington really needed that more outgoing, dynamic personality. But yeah, if they had kept Defoe over Kolzig, yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I'm going to do the alternate history to the alternate history.
Excellent.
And hopefully that'll be up tomorrow, if not Friday.
Looking for it, man.
Which,
Absolutely.
by the way, I might have some big news coming Friday in terms of where I'm writing and where I'm not writing.
Ooh.
Scotty Waz might be going solo El Mio.
Make it happen.
I got to be in business for myself, baby.
Hey, it's worked for me.
Exactly. It'll work for me too, God willing. Scotty Waz is going to get a whole new direction. He's talking about himself in third person. It's great. It's the summer of Waz. This is Lyle. It's been the summer. It's been the segment of you. We appreciate you.
Always a
we're
pleasure,
glad you show
guys.
up.
It was,
next
this
week,
was a
brother.
great one. Talk to you next week, guys.
Always time for a bow tie. There he goes. Lyle Richardson, SpectorsHockey.net, HockeyNews.com, PEI Garden, Island Guardian, and of course the Bleacher Report with no more slideshows. Johnny P. Hit us with some shout outs.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Boise. Boise? No, it's
Boise.
Boise. I liked the place. It was cool. Good city, good people, good food, good beer. I mean, what else could you really want? And I got a great T-shirt out of it. Shout out to listeners. I'm gonna give a shout out to all the people that listen to the show over the past 16 years. At this point, people that still listen to the show, people that send us stuff on Twitter, Facebook, all the places that Scotty mentions. And I'll give a shout out to the Leute division. The Leute division bringing it strong this year. We'll see. We'll see who gets answers to our questions. I mean, you have a wide range of Johnny P albums that you can go with, but I mean, Lyle did mention one song
In particular.
multiple times. So that might give you a straight shot in. And yeah, shout out to the mayor of Boise, Leslie, for showing me around the city, being a great person, and food and fries. Oh, damn it, Scotty! I completely forgot a place you would have loved. You could have gotten fries cut any way you wanted.
Ooh.
Yep, they even had purple fries.
Yeah,
all St. Joe all the time.
hell yeah.
So
Have a
I know how
purple
you
rain
do
of
fries.
fries.
I got some curly fries.
Of course, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That could be next to steak fries. I think that could be a prime cut of fry.
Agreed.
All right.
All right, I'm out.
Mark.
Shout out to Blue Turf, because why not?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, not much else. Shout out to Scott for keeping track of all this stuff after all these years. That's all I got.
All right. Thanks to shout out to maybe finding a way to make this room a little cooler. It's freaking hot as hell in this place. Shout out to Johnny's Boise adventure. Shout out to Mark, 1 week closer to becoming Daddy Pitts.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to the listeners. You guys are great, especially when you bring up great topics on the live chat. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all that other stuff. I'll get to that here in a second, but that's it. That's all. For Johnny P. Mark of the Sea, I'm Scotty Waz. Take care of yourself and someone else. This has been Face Off Hockey Show on faceoffhockeyshow.com and also Blog Talk Radio. You can find us on Twitter, Faceoff HCKY Show. You can find us on Facebook, FOHS Radio. Again, give us a name. I gave you 30 songs. Name one of them from Johnny's catalog, and we'll get you into the Face Off Hockey Show Hockey League, the Leute Division or the Hirsch Division, rip-roaring, ready to go. So that's it. That's all, guys. Take care of yourselves. We will talk to you again next week. Till then, peace.
We can all just fall apart. We can live, we can love, yes, we can spark. We can give, we can know, we can die together. The conversation, the separation, the overlooked $1 million violations.